fortunate.
Who wrote? Who let someone write that in? Just
No,
saying.
I think they
Chris
rely
Perkins.
on
He
Game
did
Master.
that.
Yes, Chris Perkins does a lot.
He did that stuff. I know it.
He chuckles to himself.
He does. Yeah.
It's a result on a D100. Whoever.
We'll get some fucking replay value out of this module.
1 to 20 will smack that on there. There's 10 levels worth of stuff, but you got to do it like 3 times.
I tried to run a campaign as written once, and then a robot scorpion with mythic levels killed everyone.
Yeah, well.
Rothar to this day is still like rocking back and forth, like fully awakened from his stupid state. Like the horrors I have seen.
You don't understand. It might be a new edition, but I still saw it. I
would much better to play for these things than not.
Should have pressed the button. And
To
then he just
last
rocks
all and
back and
preach to
forth.
the Crusaders that
They're like, what?
should
What
turn around.
Is he talking about? He's crazy, absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Huh. That said, servers up. We can have a different type of shenanigans. Who knows? Maybe in time you or lot will build a crazy dungeon that sends adventurers back in time.
Oh.
But for you guys, that might be that might actually not be as useful.
No, it's like an alternate timeline where they never existed and so they disappear.
Screw alternate timeline me that gets just assaulted by these adventurers.
Now we get to play alternate timeline Verdolith.
Like, there are an infinite number of timelines, but none of them feature me being defeated by you.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the fun part. Right? You send people back in time, which creates an alternate timeline where they get sent back in time to that time, and then they like just completely own you in that time. But you know what? You're in this time, so screw that other one.
Yeah, I don't care about the other times.
Until, of course, someone in your future does the same thing to you, and then.
Oh, thank God, no one is a time dragon.
Yes.
Ah,
well.
My mother was a time dragon.
It's a possibility.
Half time dragons, but Paragon paths. Very specific.
Maristrix shows up with a big clock. Everyone is like, what are you doing?
Break it! Wait, no, keep it!
What are you doing with the clock?
There is the option, but I'm not going that route, so.
Psionic time clock dragon. I believe you, I guess.
Anyway, what happened last time, guys? I wasn't here.
Yes. Did happen last time.
I did the recap.
Can probably do it.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I'll launch this. Well, last time on the Dragon Coast Dreads, my new ska band, we played at getting to the wonderful little place of Worm's Hamlet. But first, there was the ascension of Tyraxos. He ranked up in the fairy court. There was a ceremony. There was things were done and said. There was some politicking. He is now an Earl of Winter, and he's basically achieved the highest rank a non-fey creature can achieve in the Winter Court. To progress further, he needs to directly impress the Queen of Air and Darkness, which is gonna take some thinking. Because once you call on her attention, you better make it worth her while, because she's fickle and she's also incredibly evil and loves suffering. So, so there's that. But while Tyraxos, thinks about that for the future, we set off to Worm's Hamlet, the tiny, the misbegotten little village outside our borders. They were under siege by plague worshippers, spell plague people, who had like refugees and others who had spread the spell plague around and now congregated in a camp northwest of Worm's Hamlet. seemingly intent on assaulting it to, plunder, destroy. We ignored them in the beginning, flew into Worm's Hamlet, crashed down, made a big statement that 3 dragons have landed and you better pay attention. Talked to the people there, and it turns out that Worm's Hamlet, once upon a time, was a great source, like a great trading post. It was famed for crafting dragon bone. Just 2 huge dragons seemingly fought to the death on the beaches outside the village. We think we have found the corpse of the great purple dragon that the lizardmen in the Underdark told us about, because that there's a purple dragon corpse or remnants of it on the beach. Same with the black dragon. Seemingly the black dragon killed the purple dragon, and then someone showed up and killed the black dragon, probably with necromancy. So something is afoot a long time ago for sure. But the source of all the dragon bone made the bone carver in the village very rich and famous, and he showed up like old and decrepit and not much like life left in him, and we immediately laid claim to him, since he's a craftsman of fairly renowned proportions. I think Balignith wanted him to do something or the other. Traxxas wanted to kill him because he had desecrated the divineness of dragons by making stuff out of our remnants and bones, and he was pretty pissed about that, but was convinced to let him live. So we took the village into our protection. We took care of the craftsman and his right-hand man. Both of them are coming with us, I think. And then we flew over to the camp to make sure that the plague people don't actually attack and destroy Worm's Hamlet now that we have an interest in it. We crashed down in the middle of a mob approaching the village, and Traxxas basically bullied them into leaving the village alone and taking their rampant hordes and go somewhere else. Specifically, he pointed them towards Elm. So now, hopefully, the refugees in the plague camp would assault Elm with plague fire and other mean things, and they can destroy each other. All of this led to a fairly successful session, all in all, and that is where we ended. Yes, I think
some corrections. Nadwin was the former head of Worm's Hamlet, who had the workshop. We've taken him basically as punishment, but old Ronald, who was the guardsman there, he has basically been made leader. He is specifically the voice of the tyranny, as Verliv called him, and should we want anything, basically he's speaking as if we're speaking through him for the time being. We were informed whenever we chased off the folks who were trying to set the palisade on fire that the head of the Spellscarred refugees is a man going by Mayor Albrecht, who has a vested interest in seeing, well, all living creatures really to spread the gift of the Spellscar. We're probably not going to be taking him up on that offer of meeting, but I don't know.
We tried to suss out where he goes for his meditations, because it was mentioned by some of the Spellscarred people that he goes off alone to think about great things. And I had the plan of, if we can find out where that is, we can assassinate him, and that'll be that. But no, we haven't really investigated that further currently.
And building off of what you said, we recovered all of the remaining dragon bone that the humans themselves didn't quite recover. There's a beach nearby where that ancient conflict took place, and we have it all. It's basically in Valignus holding for the time being, because he also has Nadwin, the dragon bone crafter.
So hopefully great things will come from old Nadwin, given time.
Yes. That's it. You have 2 free slots for goals. If anyone has anything they want to put on there, rewarded for doing.
I don't think anything has changed from my side.
Would maybe like to go and investigate the ruins of Eel Fort. Because now that we're sort of poking around outside our domains, why not look around the the lake a little bit?
That is an easy goal. If you want to call it inspect the ruins. of the eel fort. Yes.
As a reminder for viewers and for ourselves, our current goals are burn down Elm, survey the Giants Run Mountains, secure the Ancient Hold, secure at least one of each behemoth for convenient use, explore the City of the Dead, because that was only partly completed, and set up a business in a nearby settlement.
Now inspect the ruins of the eel fort.
And, Valky, if you have any sort of thing while I shoot the train outside. That's right, train.
America.
No, I don't have anything right now.
I do have an idea that we might as well pop on there because we have an open slot anyways that we can kick out again next session. Unite the Lizardfolk, because currently there's like tribes all over the place, and the one that sort of follows us isn't that large. But if we could get all of them together, wouldn't that be great?
Right, that is certainly a hard goal.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to get, lizardmen with a history of fighting each other to some
Lizard folk.
You just bully them. Keep
That's
smacking them over the head.
exactly what they don't like. So
No, not bully, convince. Make it obvious that it's the best choice.
I fail to see the difference.
That's going to be the day I'm sick.
the long, like,
Right.
the long
Goals,
diplomatic mission to.
And is there anything you want to get rid of that you no longer want to do?
Yeah, burn down Elm.
I too want to get rid of Elm.
I want to. I am fine with burning down Elm. That seems.
okay.
I mean, a way to double dip in the future is having burned down Elm and also like subjugate or befriend or whatever else you want to do, and then you get paid for the one you do. And then
Jonas, I'm only going on diplomatic missions if I can spend 1d4 build points to do so.
Vertleth travels in style, David.
throwing
Always
cake.
rolling force. Because the opulence of it all.
What? My travel? It's the same as a cathedral. All right. The dragons have set up what they want to accomplish, and well, I suppose they're coming home with some dragon bone and a guy.
And a guy, indeed.
Oh, Valky, we also saw what the adventurers have been doing while they've been out, and they've all been varying degrees of successful.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, everyone made great success.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Snoot literally got all the bounties.
Yeah.
In
Killed
the world, just all of
the
them.
bad guy bandits that have been running about the lake here. And I can tell you now, Jin has become wealthy. He now has the Jin estate in Comir, and he's very happy with it because
Maybe he will never come back.
We'll never have to see him again.
Thank God.
Okay, well, Valignith probably wants to deliver this Nadwin character to his lair along with the dragon bone. That's going to be a bit of a haul for him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to pick up the dragons basically on the beach, going their separate ways after we head back to the village so that he can pick up Nadwin and whatever belongings, which is not going to be all the belongings Nadwin wanted to bring along.
No.
My
Probably not.
bedding and the bedding of my servants.
My sheets. He used to have a housekeeper, but he doesn't anymore because he didn't have any more dragon bones, so he's kind of been running on fumes for a bit.
Except for the one prize that have been secreted away.
No,
We let him keep that, right?
Old Ronald is basically like
we
holding
gave it
on to that in trust.
to the guard captain or the militia captain.
And when Old Ronald dies, it basically goes to us.
Right.
It's not something that gets to be passed down the fucking lineage.
No, I was gonna say that's a was a covetous glint in all of our eyes.
You know, it prevented us from having to kill all the guards and townsfolk for fucking taking their leader.
Yes.
Which would have defeated the purpose of diplomacy.
Yeah, a lot happened.
Yeah,
All right.
the dragons go their separate ways.
Bye.
Quite a distance back to Velignis' home.
Right. There in that down in that hated Underdark with his stupid lizards.
Ah,
Home sweet home.
yes.
Time to go to sleep.
Stormhold,
no.
or whatever I call this. Thunder
That's right.
Mountain.
You might constantly change the name.
He's what's the best
Guy-
one?
Gaius or Tiberius is constantly like painting over the sign for like a new day.
Thunderkeep. And they're like, well, at least we can keep the keep part.
Oh, that's great.
Doom Quarry. Like what?
What? I don't even know how to spell that.
The Storm Core of Epic Death. You're like, oh.
Is it a mouthful? Wherever Tyraxis comes up with Phaedron, it's like, yes, excellent, my lord.
My lord, get even more ostentatious.
You summon like these little fucking storm spears because you can do that now to just like raise the banner up like higher and higher.
Yes.
All those indulgence. Indulgence of dragons.
I'm going to sleep in my pipe and no one's ever going to disturb me. The end.
Valignov is gonna transport his
Fortress.
new guy to his lair, and I was about to say squeeze him, but I don't mean that literally. More like attempt to learn everything he can, which will probably take a while. So it's gonna be more of a long-term thing.
Sure. I mean, you have Dragon Bone, you have time.
Have Dragon Time.
You can
He probably
make
doesn't have dragon time.
quite fantastic things.
Activate Dragon Time.
Yeah. So it sounds like you want to take a long rest then. You want to just hang out a bit, or
I'm fine the way I am, really. I have spent no
Okay, good,
resources,
yeah.
so I am.
Could certainly fill a long rest with activities, but that does not necessarily mean that we need to take one.
no?
Phew.
Although Veristrix over there is looking.
Well, he's probably
Somewhat
taking a long
sad.
rest while we've been out, right? Because we had a long rest before we.
No,
didn't we?
he hasn't had a long rest.
It hasn't been that while.
Oh, well. Tyraxis will. Look
I
around,
appreciate the attempt,
see-
Jones.
Hey, I don't fucking know. I just know I'm fully rested. If the others will rest up, I guess Tyraxis lounge around. Maybe he'll take a flight over to the fortress, the ruins of Eel Fort, and take a look.
Yeah.
Look what I can see.
I mean, I'm perfectly fine with doing action, but Vertilith's default stance is, not. You can't trick her.
Verlith wants to sleep, even if she doesn't need to.
Exactly. She's greedy like that, greedy dragon. She'll take all the sleep and put it in her pocket. All right, let's go into long rest mode then, unless we're interrupted.
Sure. Who wants to take a long rest then during the 10 days of time?
Very strict, so.
Mhm.
You're like. Is
Well,
it-
yes, Verlith,
Yeah.
No, I'm fine. Not if.
All right.
I
Though there is
don't-
something said for might as well. Sort of.
I mean, if everyone else is doing it, sure, I might as well.
Well,
lay
let's do
around and talk to
downtime
Phaedron.
stuff, right? So.
Unless you want to go and do something else, but it sounds like all the dragons kind of want to just.
I'll
do their
be
own
out.
little thing.
I'll actually go do something else instead of just like sleeping and actually healing up.
Tyraxis would fly off and check out ruins of Eel Fort.
Mhm. Mhm.
His energies are unspent. He feels invigorated. His current, standing in the court of winter has filled him with vigor. And, wants to explore and look around. His domain needs to be expanded.
But Valignith and Varistrix would like to.
In retrospect, no. I think has too much things to do.
All right, maybe we should do some of those things then. If the dragons don't want to sleep.
Veristrix is going to sleep anyway. You guys can do your thing. He's too hurt, honestly. So
Can't just. All right, Villigrew will take a solitary
I
long
can.
rest.
I'm
I
going.
can.
What the hell, she?
I just don't.
It's
I don't
head.
need
the
a long
father.
rest, so I'm not gonna take one actually.
Okay.
Just,
Okay,
There we
alright.
go.
just take the long
Good.
rest, goddammit.
Now, it is something to be said for because this was, of course, something was considered when making these long rest and downtime rules, that doing things in downtime that does not involve significant combat, such as anything that would bother you, you can go and clear out some of those centipedes or work on clearing out spiders and such. That's fine. But for example, going and assaulting someplace in downtime is not really feasible.
Yeah.
However, if you do not take a long rest, basically that means your dragon goes and does things like look at the eel fort or fly around scouting or something like that, right? Commanding its minions. But beyond that, it also has the time, as it's not resting up and such, to just indulge in being a dragon. And so if you choose not to take a long rest during a 10-day of downtime, you can instead have a draconic essence.
Like in essence.
Basically for the dragon, indulging itself.
Sure,
Spending that time.
let's indulge then.
All right. Then we will go into a downtime. You will not be interrupted. There's no one coming for you at the moment, at least not in these 10 days. Varistrix, however, you can
Yeah.
take your rest.
Yeah. I'd love to.
Good. Does Varistrix have an action he wants to take? Currently, he's working on killing carrion crawlers.
Yes. He would like to do that.
He would like to do that. All right.
And what better way to do that would be to be efficient, which means knowing the creatures inside out. So dungeoneering, I would think, would be applicable here.
That definitely makes sense. Yeah.
Roll.
See the engineering check.
14.
All right, that is beating the EC DC, which means he gets a step of progress on it. He kills some of them. He knows how to get them, but there's so damn many of them, and they're stuck inside like little mountain crevices, and it's actually quite kind of a bother to do. He spends maybe more time resting than he does down there, like pulling out centipedes and smashing eggs and such. It's certainly not the most glamorous work. But he makes progress.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. All right. Chilraxos, you said you wanted a draconic essence instead of a rest.
Well, let me ask you this. Going out and check the eel fort, would that exclude me from arrest?
No.
Okay. Because I looked and I have a decent chunk of draconic essences currently. And I would like some progress on my overall thingamabob.
Mm-hmm. You could have a draconic essence and make progress. Draconic essence is instead of a long rest, not instead of downtime.
Oh, okay. Then I'll do that then.
Okay, take draconic essence, and if you want to make progress on the establishing of a trade shop for Renella Cold Brew, then tell us how. I can see you are almost there.
Yes. Check. Skills.
Last time you were sending letters.
Yes.
Writing fancy things that make you seem very civilized and
yeah, buttering up the proper people in different parts. But maybe Renella describes back that there's actually some some resistance. Maybe there are some people who don't like a new trade shop to be made. They want to shut this whole enterprise down. And so, some gentle force and intimidation must be applied instead.
Sure.
Where, where
send a threatening letter to the people of
yes,
Westgate.
Dear Burgermeister Fuckface. It is with great regret I notice that.
Really showing your people person.
Thank you.
There.
All right, let's see it.
See it. 60.
All right, that will make just 2 steps of progress, completing that job. As it seems that the people who wanted to be part of this have been convinced, and the people who wanted this not to happen have also been convinced. And Renilla has managed to get a couple of contracts that basically will she will be able to send basically a message dwarven caravan to Tissir to get equipment and such, and have a stock here in the valley, a presence, if you will.
Yes.
Where does he want this place to be? Like this little trade? It's probably going to be like a wagon, like a tarp over it.
In the quarry, of course.
Yeah, all right, like in the open.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
she'll set that up.
We'll carve.
It has
the shop
tools like weapons, quarrels for crossbows, nails, like some actual food.
Yeah, we'll build her like a trade bunker. You know what I mean? Like a dwarven house, like very squat and square, and like with arrow slits in it pointing in all directions. And inside there, on top of it, a Tyraxos' flag, and inside of there, the shop.
Yeah, he spends his time indulging in being a dragon and helping, sending threatening messages. Maybe even like going and flying across the route to a few people, showing a little bit of like, yes, I'm here. You do not want to deal with this. I'm a dragon.
Yeah, maybe the most stubborn one. Maybe he is out, picking flowers or something else. Someone does. Maybe a trade caravan gets burned. Who knows?
Something happens.
Something happens. The Phaedron is taking all the dictation for the letters. Tyraxos is too, like the claws. He can't really hold a pen.
All right, Verdalith. Do you want a draconic essence or?
Sure.
Yeah.
I for this downtime stuff, I know I wanted to spend part of it with Amrath, the Druid of Malar, who's taken to extremism because the Emerald Enclave isn't going to come help him. With his corrupted tree project to kill every damn Spellscar and go across the world roving to kill all of them. She still very much has a vested interest in him due to she has a foundational knowledge of religion. She wants to know more about Malar and about nature, about how that works. As for what she would end up doing that would preclude her from the long rest, I had not anticipated taking one today. I would rather talk to you privately about that after the session. I don't want to say that now.
Yeah, sure. That's all right.
Okay.
He is off with Amrath. At least as far as the others are concerned. All right, and then there is the question of Valignith.
All right, for Valignith, I've got 4 things, and
oh my,
I don't know how many can actually be fit in the downtime. So the lowest priority one is to actually learn how to, work Dragonbone from the guy, because that sounds like something he's interested in. But since the guy is already in his collection of smart people, he's not going to run away or anything, so he's pretty much always available. The next thing, which might be slightly more important, is Valignith actually wants to visit the Blood Spike tribe, I believe they're called, the Lizardfolk that are sort of okay with us. He's sent them the weapons and armor he promised, and he just wants to, see what's up, get a gist of the general thoughts the Lizardfolk have at this point. They were very hesitant initially because, evil dragons want to conquer us, but they probably didn't expect to be conquered with bribes. So I'm curious to see if that's working.
Yeah, well, I mean, that will not really take much effort if he just wants to go have a look how things are going. Just give you an update. Yeah, they are busy on the warpath at the moment. Their lizards are dressed in steel metal armor, and their behemoths have armored plates on top of their scaly plates. And as such, they have, as far as Falcons can see, they are well on their way to banishing their nearby tribe and pushing those further into the jungle to claim better and more fertile, like fruit gathering areas for themselves, so their own tribe can grow faster and bigger.
Okay, so that's in progress and working well. It's a bit of a shame that that sounds like there's no short-term possibility of just uniting all of them. They just want to push the others away and grow, which probably better in the long term.
But yes, they don't want their tribe tainted by the weaker flesh of the other tribe. I mean,
Yeah,
the others have bone crowns and mace tails. That is much weaker than the blood spike. That's the best behemoth. So
you know what? I agree.
yeah, definitely.
Number 3, with the discovery of the City of the Dead, which, while incredibly dangerous, was also very profitable. It leads me to believe that these mountains aren't quite as empty as they look on the map. And Verdlef has already expressed interest in, scouting around and seeing what's up. And I don't believe we've done that yet. So I would actually maybe, as the Downtime project, maybe not join up with Verdlef, but Verdlef doing his own thing and looking around, like scouting out our territory here, seeing what neighbors us directly, seeing what could be exploited. Could be, what's the word? Not salvaged. Delved and taken and those things.
Yeah, all right. Yes, a Downtime thing. Well, that would be a Downtime project to it'll be an easy one because it's exploration. You fly across things, and if anything is too difficult, you just don't engage with it. It could be well, why not call it survey the giants run mountains, not the dragon run mountains.
Well, aren't they at this point?
Yes, aren't they? All right. It's not the easiest environment to explore, though. But yeah, you can make some progress if you want. How does he start by approaching this? How does he actually figure something out about this?
I mean,
how does he go about it?
He would
empty, barren peaks to look through.
Yeah, I think his approach would be just one of just flying a whole lot, just flying low, so it's not too hard to spot things. He's not worried about being spotted. That's sort of something he wants to get done at some point, anyways. Get some infamy and all that. So he'll fly low. He'll fly a lot, perhaps like starting early, ending late. Marathon flights, as it were, going like north and south. We've sort of explored east, and we know that Thunderhome is to the west, which isn't exactly super interesting.
Right, he's interested in the south, then. Yeah.
Like just in general. Just
right,
around.
Yeah. That's good. Endurance, I'm hearing.
Sure, and he'll probably not bring his armor for this. Like he doesn't expect to get into a fight.
Yeah.
The weight, while he doesn't let it show, does bother him on occasion. 31.
That is then, I believe, 3 steps of progress out of 4.
That's pretty good.
No, it's 3 out of 3. So he does actually manage to survey the mountains.
All of them.
Phil swoop. Well, at least what's relevant. He as it turns out, he flies constantly, without break.
How dare you work towards fulfilling my goal?
Yeah. Well, I can tell you since he focuses on flying south. If you look at the Dragon Coast map, that's probably the easiest map to sort of
yes,
point.
I'm looking at that.
point for you. So moving towards the south from here, he will get to mountains that are actually incredibly tall, taller than the clouds. And when going in that direction, he sees, as he sort of moves up beyond the clouds, a pretty... Perhaps it's that moment of, I should have brought my armor, because what he sees there, again, is peaks that reach far, far above, the very highest peaks of these mountains. And up there, he sees the sort of shadow of a massive bird creature, electricity and thunder flying from its wings as it spreads them out. And he gets the sort of distinct feeling that this is something that is, I mean, this bird is bigger than he is, and would do very terrible things to him if he was to engage with it. Beyond it, you can see. Well, could you have like knowledge history? Could you give me some of that?
Not trained, but I can try.
All right.
10. All
right. Well, he sees what looks like some sort of thundering fortress up there. A sort of a cloud of electricity and such. He's pretty sure. I mean, he doesn't really know what that would mean necessarily, but there's such a thing he knows from his own lair, having seen like a hierarchy of giants and such back then, that the top giants of the hierarchy are called storm giants, and he's pretty sure that if those would live in a place, it would probably be up here, so far, far beyond all the things below. There seems to be no activity beyond the sort of guarding massive monster circling around, but I mean, the place is here, and he probably doesn't want to get too close.
Yeah. That is very close to us.
It is very high up. And he's also pretty sure, given how much he remembers what the Earth Giants did. He encountered them. You know, these ones would certainly be a couple of magnitudes stronger. Continuing further south, avoiding the top of the mountains here, he will go further and see a slightly lower area of what seems to be a lot of marble columns and such. At just around the cloud layer. It seems to be an old place, a large place, sort of a ruin, if you will, haven't been maintained for long, but in there he does see figures, and probably a figure that turns and looks upon him, a tall white giant, again, bigger than he is, having like a marble column in its hands that it sort of perhaps considers throwing through his brain, but he keeps a good distance, it's a good roll, and manages not to immediately... I mean, maybe he's even hidden somewhat in the clouds, but he sees that there certainly is a place with more giants quite close by as well, though they don't seem to regard him with any interest. Moving a bit further out, he will move a little down from the mountains to a couple of sort of rifts and cliff valleys, where, well, he sees a couple of palisades, forts, that sort of thing, boulders covering the ground, orcs in large numbers, some with wyverns. Beyond that, he also notices more giants, these particular ones being stone giants that are walking about, raising pillars at the moment. I mean, you completed the goal of exploring south, so we'll just continue then. Moving further south, beyond that, during his time, maybe at this point, feeling that there's a lot more to these mountains. Indeed, they're not quite as empty as he thought, because he's been in the northern part, where seemingly there aren't as many giants, sort of the northern bit of their territory. Moving further south, he sees vertical areas, basically places where the mountains have split into these massive ravines, And covering these sites are many tiny tunnels and holes where little figures jump and run constantly. Some of them are quarrying around, cleaning what seems to be a constant source of bat poop off of a giant face that's been carved into the side of the mountain, sort of overlooking the land below, finding an area full of goblins, as it were. As he moves to move even further south, though, he's perhaps reaching the end of his sort of flight time possibilities, even though he's doing a very good job, enough to see what looks like a colossal ruined watchtower that has been carved into or out of a mountain, again overlooking the pass, if you call it that, below. Here, someone does take notice. The other places, no one's really looked up too much. It seemed like dragons were not on their mind. They were not thinking of such things. Down here, though, he looks and sees hobgoblins, red and sort of formed quite clearly as a militia unit, a military unit. And with them, he sees at least one fire giant, probably more, clad in their large metal armor and overlooking his approach. That place clearly well guarded and by people who know what they're doing.
All right. Well, I did not expect so many giants to still be in this place. Figured they were all like just random remains, disgusting and abandoned, like the ones we had in our valley.
Well, these ones certainly don't seem to really be doing a whole lot right now. They don't seem to have been, roused, if you will. But yeah, there certainly is a lot of power in these mountains still.
Well, that's worrying. All right.
She can move north. Having explored sort of south. To the north of the valley, the surrounding here, there doesn't appear to be much. There's a large sort of open, hilly land with a bit of forest sort of scattered out across it. Probably there were abandoned camps and such of them, but he finds maybe like one camp slightly over the mountains that seemed to have been destroyed pretty recently, perhaps by some heroes, having removed it as a thing that exists.
All the bounties.
Yeah, well, bandits haven't done well recently.
All right. That'll be his time well spent then. And honestly, I wanted to do a fourth thing, but I forgot what it is, so that's convenient.
Yeah, well, he was busy.
Yeah.
Looking at mountain stuff.
Very much in character to just lose track of whatever he was obsessed about previously.
Like the behemoth.
Yeah, but he just doesn't know how to get them. He can't just walk up there and take them. They're too heavy to carry. He doesn't want to drag them through the jungle.
Payment, service was rendered. I mean, like, surely, as a suggestion here, the Bloodspike tribe is going to have no problem with you taking the weak behemoths of all these other tribes they're beating the shit out of, because they don't want to do that weak stuff near them.
That's an idea. Malachi, perhaps when Velignov visited them, he could have offered to the Bloodspike tribe that any behemoth they capture from the other tribes, he will purchase. Or at least trade for. Maybe not purchase with currency, but give them something appropriate in return.
What does he offer? Because they don't really care too much about his currency. They have no...
Yeah, that's...
There's no real use of that. They like food in large amounts. That's not really something he has. What they also like would be humans, because they know that there are others who will trade a lot for humans. And
like the Illithids.
Yes. There is. They say there are creatures beyond the other end of the jungle, basically, who offer great things, great insights and such for humans, for fresh humans and humanoids specifically.
All right.
Living and in decent condition, ideally.
What's the exchange rate of humans to captured behemoths?
They probably aren't sure. It's probably a sort of an ad hoc, at the time sort of negotiation.
All right. How about they get some behemoths captured, and Willignov will eventually show up with the humans they so desire?
Of course, they have to feed the behemoths that they capture.
Obviously.
They generally will. I mean, the longer you wait, the more expensive they will be. Effective. But yes, they can try to see if they can capture some. Though again, the effort. Ideally, they would want to. They would probably expect this to be a binding agreement. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They will try to find some, and they expect to have people brought in return, because some other people might die to behemoths that could have been killed instead.
That's fair. I think that's fair. How hard can it be to capture a bunch of humans? Come on.
Yeah. Look at that international trade.
Yeah.
Yeah. With that, though, the dragons, having done each their own thing, can maybe reconvene if there's anything any of them wants to do, or they could just continue sleeping. Certainly.
Just sleep forever.
I mean, it's dragons, right?
That's what the lethargy, propels me to do. So why not?
Just again, more sleeping.
Gotta sleep while I can, because once I go to hell, I won't be able to sleep as much.
And if it were wrong to sleep, then why does it feel so good?
You like my reasoning, Jones?
I agree that hell seems to be very busy.
Might be hard to schedule some sleep there in the devil work,
Yeah. A lot of pitchforks being poked at you constantly.
So I got like a few thousand years to get some Zeds now, and then...
Oh, man. All right,
the dragon's doing this as time is passing. It's beginning to clear up a bit. Winter is slowly beginning to ease, and that begins to bring the dragons into, what was known in the valley as the rainy season.
Great.
Where generally a lot of storms happen out across the Sea of Fallen Stars, bringing a lot of water and rain in over the mountains. The meager snow that has accumulated at some of the peaks also melts, bringing a lot of water into the valley. This, the dragons will be warned, will make a lot of mud happen everywhere in this valley. That will be mostly sort of centrally flooded. But of course, it's something that makes the valley sort of able to run around, or sort of go around generally. A lot of silt and mud will be washed out into the lake, and it's going to be very rainy for everyone involved.
Mm-hmm.
For everyone, you're sure?
Well, not in the Underdark, of course.
Exactly.
It's going to be very...
Tyranxus' guards are gonna like look up from his doom quarry mountain keep, and instead of seeing Verdalif lays in the snow, just gonna see her just lay there as the rain washes down her and then all over her, just enjoying the massage of the water.
Yeah, no.
I will say this generally also a time where traders don't go in this part of the land because the mud makes it so difficult.
What?
To
I just established a trade route.
well.
Tyranxus will immediately start slapping
She'll
around
get it
Runa like
done.
cold brew.
But she does not.
You
it's
told me
not,
there
it's not
was
a good time.
Yeah. Runella's my lord, not everyone can fly as gracefully as you do. You're
It's in a month the waters will stop, but it'll still be very wet, and then a month later it'll basically all be gone again.
Tyranxus will immediately start a project to build an umbrella over the valley.
Yeah.
The Umbrella Project?
Yes.
Oh no.
The umbrella project.
It'll be fine.
Oh no.
Perfectly fine, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Many goats easy to catch now because they also don't like being out in the weather.
Oh, yes, this is
Under
really, this is
trees
a great time for Verdalif. She gets massaged by the rain when she lays on the mountainside, and then the goats, oh no, they can't run.
Just lazily stretch myself over there and get one.
A nice surprise in the next month, of course, is that's when all the flying insects appear after the rainy season. But,
New project.
It's okay, we have thick scale. It's not a problem for us either.
True, but an insect wouldn't dare touch me.
We had problems with insects in the Underdark. Surely these ones cannot be as problematic.
Oh god! Well, after the downtime week, Tyraxus will peek his head out of his chambers, having sent threatening letters to everyone. He will tell Phaedron to keep the house in order while he is gone, and he will glide out over the valley. Going to poke his head down into Verlet's pipe, the first of all.
She won't even need to. Vertolith there, just like laying on the mountainside,
It's
easily
alright.
seeable as like she leaves. Like she's looking a bit slimmer. Her scales are a bit like mottled and have like that less lustrous hue to them as they did whenever she was younger. Just like lays there. You know, her like skin's like less bulging out like between her scales, almost as if it's all properly fitting back on her. You know, she's currently in the process of juggling goats, which if it fails, like it smacks her face, and by that I mean she has her mouth open. The goat just like sails in. She chortles with glee, and then begins the process. Her little like servant, who would typically like stay like fanning her, just like looks on like this wide-eyed look of like horror, like that could be me.
Well, Tyraxus will land, claws like dragging up a shower of sparks on a nearby rock somewhere.
Terrified bleat, like one of the goats gets away from her and falls down like a hole like in the mountain. Like she says, "Oh, whatever." There's another goat.
Tyraxus like cranes his neck down the slope and is like shakes his head a little bit, like.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, to shreds, you see. He looks down again. Oy, oy. Anyway, looks over to the servant. Frowns. He feels like he's seen this creature before somewhere.
Sereno the Dragonborn looks pretty objectively terrified being next to two dragons. Not like not too thrilled about it. Like Rain just like obviously like beating down him harder than it would a dragon.
Exactly, because he has nothing to protect himself, just standing out there.
The shredded clothes that he has on him, you know, it's not exactly as if Vertolith's gone out of his way to get him new clothes. Like they've seen better days.
Well, do I have good news for him? Because Tyrax's Emporium is now open in the quarry. Quality clothes can be bought. You know.
He'll just have to get on with making money.
Exactly. Yeah, he just needs to, beg his harsh mistress for some scraps.
Try to sell goats to the Emporium.
We'll buy him. Goatskin.
Just love the image of my servant, like now, like trying to go out there, like chase and like wrangle goats to sell them to the quarry for clothes.
Goats are very versatile.
Yes, they are. They're wonderful creatures. As I said, the Emporium is open for business. So,
Vertolith like shifts, like not actually getting up, like looks up at Tilraxos, like wiggles a claw at him.
Tyraxus doesn't know how to interpret the claw wiggle, but he will say, "Well, Vertolith, you seem to be doing well." As he his eyes follow a goat sailing through the air. He will continue and say, it seems that most of us have recovered, and so my interest, my curiosity has been piqued. It was very profitable for us to explore outside our little haven inside this valley, and so I am inclined to continue the process. There is a ruin of an old fort on the southern banks of the lake. If it is a workable old ruin, perhaps a fortification can be made in the future. I need some place to, store my forces, after all. He inspects one of his claws.
She's taken now to like removing like one of the horns off the goat and like using it to like clean between her teeth.
I would therefore ask you if you would be interested in accompanying me to inspect the ruins.
She like closes her eyes, opens them back up, and says, "I thought Worm's Hamlet was going to be serving this purpose, Tilraxos."
Yeah, looks eastward towards Worm's Hamlet. Perhaps, but I am a creature of expansion and ambition. And the more holds and places we can seize, the better I see it. Perhaps it is nothing, he waves a claw. Perhaps it is so decrepit that it holds no value, but there have been many ruins that have yielded treasures and secrets here. It is worth a look, I think.
Vertilith closes her eyes again and opens them and says, I can tell you that those ruins you're interested in have seen fighting of some recency. The Druid of Malar, Amrath, who aided us whenever we initially left Besserek's care, dwells not there, but near there, and he has been in confrontation with those of Spellscarred. He does see it his purpose to kill every single one of them, and some are not so willing to just die for him.
Draxus taps his claw thoughtfully and says, yes, I remember this druid. He has been useful to us, and he has the proper reverence towards us. I appreciate his proximity to us, at least for now. He is hunting more of those plague-scarred crazies, the better.
She says, I would be willing to help, but once we are done doing so, Tilraxos, I would turn your attention in the opposite direction. There is a collection of ruins. I'll go on to, Verlith will share the details of the adventure that the three of us took during one of the sessions Jonas was absent regarding the City of the Dead, and the history there of how there were ancient peoples that switched to serving giants, and there ended up being a city built in the mountains to house these people, some of which still are intact, and at least one of those buildings contained wonderful riches and prizes. The others had not been molested at all, so it stands to reason that other ancient riches and prizes will be in there, provided we can defeat the undead guardians.
Draxus listens intently. He does like prizes and riches.
And unlike the ruins of the Eelfor, which are so easy to access and anyone can walk in, these, it's really hard to walk there. You basically have to fly there.
Would explain why it's untouched.
Mm-hmm. So, Vertil is basically I'll go help you with the Eelfor, but then eventually, City of the Dead.
All right.
Prizes, riches.
Draxus nods. We have a deal.
Beyond that, there also were some strange, it was hard with just looking around the carvings of the building that the dragons did go into. There might be more, of these people's story to be found, should they actually manage to inspect the whole thing.
Yeah, we got an incomplete story there of these,
Something
the people.
happened, certainly.
Mm-hmm. They turned away from the giants they were worshipping to one particular entity who was a mystery.
There does seem to be an odd amount of necromancy in these mountains and general area, does it not? We surmise that something similar killed the black dragon that lay down the great purple worm. Draxus taps his claw again. And there was the giant undead creature that the other two fools awakened in the tomb.
Vertiliv bobbles her head. Fools, appropriate, she thinks to herself. Speaking of, have not seen Veristrix. He's purple. You'll probably pretend like he already knew what we were doing. Go visit him. He's easier to reach than Valignith.
Draxus snorts. Yes, I have. Yes, I haven't seen him either.
You can tell him about your glorious rise to Earl of Winter.
Draxus straightens up a little bit, his head held high. Yes, you are correct. Of course, he must be told immediately. He will be thrilled to know.
He deserves to see you in your new splendor.
Draxus nods emphatically, and then takes off in a gust of wind, and then he will fly directly over to Veristrix to give him the good news.
I imagine in this rain that Soraxis would be very shiny as the water droplet sort of hits his blue scales and then freeze sort of over him, giving this frosty sheen.
Yeah, it's when he flies, it's almost like there's snow almost behind him or hail.
He has to get used to it because he lands and sort of there's ice on his claws, so he sort of is a little unsure on his feet perhaps at first.
Just need to slam the claws first down, So.
Vertilif is a bit slower to fall behind, like giving like a patronizing pat on the head to like Sereno, tell him to go back inside, and then she'll take off after the blue dragon.
They fly over the valley down there. They can see the were-rats, and also like at this point, like just giant rats, sort of digging through the mud, like searching for grubs and small lizards and
Jesus
such.
Christ, we need goddamn
They've
minions that
clearly been
aren't so
thriving
close.
all this time.
What is with this like filth? Ugh. When I convert Eelfort into a proper stronghold.
Vertilif says, "This is how the valley remains so fertile till Raxos. It floods with this water."
Traxxas has the spirit of a Bretonia noble. Though he lives off it, but he doesn't want to see the peasant filth, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He will swoop down towards Veristrix's lair.
Alright.
Hooger.
The owlbear gives
Oh,
off the
yes.
warning cry, but recognizes Tilraxos.
Yes.
And territorial as it is barely smart enough instincts-wise to know this is not something to trifle with, and so
Hooger.
back.
Hooger's back.
Yeah. Veristrix will come up. Is like Tilraxos like? Do you have a new crown or something? Like what?
There is like a small crown-like circlet, like incorporated on his head. It is mostly covered by the ice that you see like groaning around him. But it can be like noticed. Like
It's different from what you had previously.
yes.
Also, at this point, there's probably more than one owl bear.
Oh
Yeah.
Others have probably been
Oh,
brought
yeah,
in and
that's
trained
right.
as well.
Right.
A little family of owl bears.
The little
Oh.
stockings that have been crocheted for them don't quite fit so well.
Yeah. All right. I suppose a question for Veristrix's one-up reason. Would Veristrix recognize that this is like an upgrade Winter Court-wise from his knowledge, or?
Again, I can check.
Yeah.
If you want to like check it out.
Yeah. Before he opens his mouth. It's 27.
Oh yes, he looks at Tilraxos and instantly gets the idea. Tilraxos is shining with the fey allure of the Winter Court, the sort of latent cruelty, but also with the sort of latent bit of pain and suffering he had to endure. It's quite clear that he stands in esteem and that he is a representative on the material plane of the court.
Okay.
Definitely bigger deal than he was before.
All right. Veristrix will smile and nod as a slight medium respect, and before Tilraxos can say anything, he will say, well, congratulations on your promotion. I can see from just your presence.
Raxus puffs out his chest a little bit. His presence is great. It's true.
And so what might an Earl of Winter come here for my assistance for?
Draxus smiles with his jagged fang-like teeth and says, "Oh, you flatter me, Veristrix. Really?" The smile might even be genuine at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, "We have not seen you for some time, and so I thought best to check up on you." Like, looks behind him, like into the cave with like frolicking owl bears and whatnot.
Yeah, a few Hoogers.
Hooger.
Hooger.
Veristrix tilts his head and says, "Why, that's quite nice of you. However, I've been busy." As he looks past Tilraxos, is Vertilit behind him, or are you?
Yeah, absolutely is like behind him. Like the typical like cat-like nonchalance of like peering like at Veristrix, like I know what the fuck you're doing. Like, look.
Yeah, Veristrix speaks to Tilraxos, but like looks slightly past and locks eyes with Vertilit and says, "After our previous exploration, I deemed it a good time to return. I had some things to deal with. And so I have been underground, working with the, well, making sure our coven is unpeded.
Traxxas nods. Yes, indeed. I trust that she is keeping herself in check down there and doing our good work, so to speak.
You would know otherwise, I'm sure.
Slightly. I am sure. Looks around again and says, I plan to investigate the ruins of the Eel Fort on the southern banks of the lake in the hopes of it being restored or converted or hiding some sort of valuable treasure. If it was a stronghold once, it can be it again. And the more domain we have under control, the better. I would ask you to come with us to inspect it.
He waves a claw and says, I do not need much convincing. It has been a while since I've been out of this lair of mine. Go on.
Verlith then chips in return, Tilraxos says after we're done that he will join me, at least, in venturing to that mountain city where those servants and those surviving buildings and those riches are.
I was just about to ask how you managed to get Verlith out of, well, out in general, but I see she deemed to answer that question herself. I can accompany you.
A shaft of light from like the rainy sky catches her, like glinting eyes, just so.
Rexus smiles slightly as well, and then he looks around. So, where is our last member?
I imagine he's down there with his new pet, learning the secrets of making things from dragon bone or whatever.
Verstrix, there's a bit of a slight flinch of surprise, but he quickly conceals it and says, well then, it seems you have much to fill me in on while I have been away. Let us go fetch him then.
Fine. We really need to devise some sort of communications way to this.
Oh,
Vanilla says,
well,
I do have one. I can send a messenger after him. I've done it before in the past.
Verstrix taps a claw to his head and says, since it is your idea, I didn't mean to presume to do anything.
Promptly sits down. Excellent. And takes, I don't know, if there's a goat or something edible nearby, he'll start, munching away at that while the two brain creatures contact our wayward brother.
The two brain creatures looks at Veristrix like he's gonna send the message. Great, that works for me.
Yes, Veristrix will send a message. To the point, basically, just like, I don't know, a summary of the proposal Tyraxos gave. He'll put in the bit first about the we'll get the opportunity to go back to the ruins of the dead and sorts and riches. The enticement has to go first, Verstrix feels, or else they might not be that interested.
Well, turns out he's very easy to motivate to do most things.
Great.
While we wait, Tyraxos will sporadically fill in very strict on the news from Worm's Hamlet.
Sure. He will ask then around the end of this discussion. This thanks for a moment. The remains of this dragon. Does this person have them on their person, or are they still where they lay?
Everything has been dug up and catered off to Valagnith's hold. I believe he has it down there.
Interesting.
In seeing an old relative, so to speak.
I feel that question is rhetorical, but yes, I would. If not only to see if it flares something in my memory, but also to recognize that all powerful we may be, some of us can get ahead of ourselves.
We have seen that in action.
We have absolutely seen that in action. Pointed look at Veristrix.
Yes. It would seem that accidents happen when we're not all here.
Sometimes when we are all here.
I like this sort of like circle. Tilraxer's like thinking about Valignith, like nodding profusely.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
looking accusingly at Veristrix. And then Valignith shows up like, hey!
Hi guys!
He'll probably show up after you spend some time talking, presumably waiting too.
Mm-hmm.
There's some distance from the Underdark as well.
It is some distance.
It would probably be quicker if Valignith like went underground and then up into Veristrix's
So then you have
lair.
to pay the fee.
You're not allowed.
Exactly, yeah, that just wouldn't do.
Wait, you have a toll gate down there?
You bring like a loaf of bread and
Well, the entrance slightly changes every time you go through it, right? So who's to know where it is?
Oh, I see. Good.
Can't just have people following me back into my lair
I
all the time.
guess.
I mean, who would like have an entrance like a pipe or something that you can't change?
it takes about as long because you get to the room with the old man who you have to convince to open the door.
And he's like, what's the point? And you're like, I will eat
It's a
you.
riddle, and
Yeah.
it must be answered. Yeah.
I
What is
will
the
eat you.
point of?
Finally.
Raxus looks suspiciously past the owlbears into the hole in the back of the cave. Seems like it's changed. But Veristrix is a wily creature, he knows that much.
Echo's scream coming up.
Oh, that's normal.
Appearances can be deceiving.
Yeah,
Close.
but certainly after a while, a good long while. But what is time for dragons? Relicant has time to move over to the others.
Vertilith has since gone to like frolic and like eat goats that like have no hope of escaping from her.
Probably get to see the owlbear feeding time.
Oh,
Which is
boy.
just a bunch of goats thrown in.
It's just a blender in there.
Yeah. Vertilith pretends to be an owlbear to
Feasting. Yeah, the goats are certainly trying to keep up their population, but there is a lot of big predators.
We need to... Well, we have removed some predators. at
Yeah,
least.
we did.
Oh,
We took care of the
yes,
Manicore,
yes.
for example.
The birds.
And replace
So
them
you
with
are
us.
yeah.
No, now we're the biggest threat to the goat population.
No,
but
definitely.
I like to feel like we're doing a service because otherwise there'd be too many damn goats and
Yeah, they would eat all the vegetation.
goats
be no
everywhere.
grass.
Balance.
You're right. It's an ecosystem. Adventurers, you can't kill us. If you do, you'll destroy the ecosystem.
If we run into a druid ever, we can stop.
Druid would be proud. They'd be like, yes,
This is good.
we do nature's work as dragons.
That's why I like the Malar guy. He looks at us as apex predators and like he approves.
You will hunt and kill because it is what you
Oh.
do.
You see, that's the evil side
It
of
is
like
your
the whole
nature.
doing it. The neutral evil. We're not getting the neutral good aspect of that, which is like, what the fuck?
The neutral good aspect is like, what the fuck?
It's like, so where did enslaving people and selling them to a livid into
Yeah,
this predatorial equation?
Why are you selling these poor children to lithids? And the dragon is like, I want a big dinosaur.
I mean, to be
Remember
fair,
we-
Malar is not about selling kids to Illithid either.
Yep.
Particularly, at least. It probably doesn't have a big opinion on it, but
Mhm. Remember when you forcibly subjugated all those people you freed to lycanthropy? Only the strong will survive. You're like, no.
Doesn't ring a bell.
They didn't have a future anyway.
I do so many things. I can't
I mean,
keep track
for
of
you, that was-
everything.
For me, that was Tuesday.
Exactly. I mean, this is normal.
I did it because it's in my nature, so I couldn't not have done that.
You wouldn't go against nature, would you?
Yeah.
It's just a phase, okay?
All enslaved, to lithids. Were rats.
It was all for money, you understand.
But think of the
Think of the profit.
money.
They have
Verlith.
diamonds down there.
Verlith looks to the horizon as Velignev approaches to the rain and the storming. Lands in the mud.
Been flying a lot in this weather.
Yeah, he'll like land in the wet mud with like a splurging sound, and then like fire breath the floor beneath him to dry it out a bit, covering himself in an ominous cloud of fog, which combines well with his oddly serious, like almost dramatic look, which, however, is obviously faked for dramatic effect. As he says, "I have arrived, and you would not believe the things I've seen, but your business interests me as well. However, first listen to my tale as I flew about the mountains. And, well,
I want to hear you. I want to hear you tell the tale. Like, this is great. Like, you hype this up too much
Listen to
already.
Has Valigruth brought a bard with him, or like a gnome with a harp? Like,
No.
puts the music.
He quickly stops, however, as he like runs out of bad juice and just says, "Well, to summarize, there are a lot of giants still in these mountains. In particular, the mountain that reaches above the clouds has structures on top, and a large bird made of lightning, and presumably more giants living in the castle on top. I expected that we had killed all the giants, but I think we still got a lot of work ahead of us."
Raxos looks, thoughtfully up the high mountain, and it says, "A castle at the top of the mountain, you say?"
I know yours pales in comparison.
Oh,
Tyraxus looks
Oh.
down sharply.
I didn't mean to. I was being objective, all right?
he just means you don't have to build a Tilraxus. You can just take that one.
Tyraxus nods thoughtfully. Yes, I should, shouldn't I? And then he looks up again.
You flew south through the mountains without me.
I didn't want to disturb you while you were sleeping. I figured I'd do some of the work for you as a favor.
I see. You're still after those behemoths, I understand.
Yes. However, I did come to an agreement with the Lizardfolk. They would attempt to capture some, and I would purchase them in exchange for, all humans I still have to capture at some point, but I'll get to that.
You mean giving them and maintaining their armaments wasn't good enough? Why did you bother giving them the weapons and armor then?
Well, to allow them to attack the other Lizardfolk in the first place. It's not a purely one-sided relationship. Just giving them the weapons is one thing, but I also want to see them used. That's part of the deal.
They're not paying you for that, though, or they didn't.
Well, they're paying me by using them.
Verstrix sharks.
Tyraxus looks at both of you incredulous. He's like, "What is this conversation?"
Verlith, her eyes are widened before she can say anything. Tyraxus probably bludgeons in with "What do you mean?"
Just whack. Can we please stop talking about this?
I mean, it's not my fault you don't understand my genius.
No, that is your fault, actually.
I like the initiative, Malignant.
Speaking of weapons and armor, however, in the context of giants, Tyraxos, how many people do you have under your control?
Tyraxus thinks and gives a rough number, I guess. I don't know exactly how many, but with all the trading and stuff back and forth, there's a fair number, I guess.
Well, the fight is among them anyways, because I think we're going to need them. And for all of our benefits, I suggest we get together and work something out.
Well, most of my endeavors have been focused on establishing trade and economic growth for my little organization these past weeks. The recruitment of new troops, is an ongoing thing, but I have not made an concentrated effort to do it. There are some bandits and human rabble. There is some orc archers. There is the hobgoblins, Phaedron, of course, and with my new status in the fairy court, I can call upon lower fae to serve me.
Well, elm to the east, the giants to the south, dwarves to the west, but they are more potential rather than enemy, and to the north, well, not much, fortunately.
And Vertilith wags a claw and says, "Do not forget that lower-ranked centaur that we so thoroughly impressed in that grand hunt."
Yep. Drax nods. Yes, he has pledged allegiance. In a way.
In a way.
We are allies. And now that I outrank him considerably, I can call upon him as well, should the need arise.
Well, I'm not going to point out the similarities in that with my dealings with the Lizardfolk. I believe there were other things to do. A fort? I do like that other place, that place full of undead. There might be more treasures to be had. It was profitable, to say the least.
We only explored one of the buildings there.
Exactly. There were like more.
Verstrix scratches his chin.
Vertilith begins slowly take off from the ground and says, "Yes, there were more."
Let's go. If you stay any longer in this lair, I'd have to tax you.
Draxus looks around. What?
Yeah. Vertilith begins to fly towards the Eel Fort ruins along the lake.
Towards the ruins. Draxus takes off in a hail of snow. Whee!
Dashing through the no.
Jingle bells on Draxus.
God.
I at least think Verstrix has the easier job of getting through this rain. Like, he's sleek enough that it just kind of slides off him.
I mean, it's not as much as it gets yet. This is the beginning of it, so it's like a trickle. But later there will be a torrent of rain. And
right.
Don't tell my ISP that. Don't mention torrent.
Don't even mention ISP.
Going to the Eel Fort, you fly far. It's quite visible, has a slight rise over the lake. A good view over there. You can see some old. Basically, it's built there because there's a nice, naturally sort of sheltered harbor. Though there's no ships currently, no flags rise above it. The ruined fort is effectively a square wall. Parts of it has collapsed, but it's still in somewhat decent condition. There's a main keep building and a couple of buildings down by the docks that still stand, though only the keep has roof still. The others are sort of collapsed in. It looks like, that it has been recently in use, certainly. There's signs of soot on the ground and such. It's been cleared of rubble somewhat. A couple of wooden palisades are at the outside of it. There's also a lot of brambles surrounding it, thistles and sort of thorny brambles everywhere. Of a thing that Vertilith would sort of instinctively know, in a way, would be sort of a poisonous bramble that is quite often found in the Gulfnir. Quite delicious to herd kind of dragon in particular, actually. But they seem to thrive on this slightly raised bit of soil around the stones, having sort of spread even inside the walls in some areas. Whoever occupied this place seemed to have been fine with those closing off several holes in the wall, effectively. It's very unpleasant for anyone to walk through it. Almost functioning as a moat, if you will. Inside, though, You can find some bones, skeletons have been thrown about, split about. There certainly are signs of combat. Most recently, there might still even be like a couple of bodies that are sort of bloated and rotted in the weather, having all their soft bits eaten by crows and carrion birds. It seems that a group of heroes might have slain someone. It looks, from the look of it, like it was a gathering of refugees, perhaps people who had fled the gathering plague camps. Certainly none of the bodies seem to have spell scars, though they seem to have taken up banditry, most likely, by the use of a boat that is now sunk by the small bridge. Before this, bones and such have been scattered by them and piled in a little pile in the corner. It seems that another group might have stayed here that was killed by a giant bear at some point. Just guessing, looking at the bones and thinking of what might make sense given the comparison. It seems, though, that even before that, this place had been occupied, likely by the minions of the Red Banner before they moved south, meaning that it's had a lot of use recently. But, well, the Red Banner left, and the others seem to have had unfortunate fates, even though this place was meant to protect them. There's no current occupants. Again, except for like a lot of crows.
Mm-hmm. The bloated bodies, which there'll be a fewer of, is like, rotten bloated bodies?
Yeah.
Yum.
Add like some delicate like poison thorns.
Mhm.
My favorite.
They are nasty poisonous thorns indeed.
Nom, 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 nom.
She doesn't eat all of it, but like
even a
like,
dragon wouldn't want to like to land in that. Yeah, they're like long black thorns on pretty fresh and sort of harsh green plants.
But like, I take
Seems like
a
a bunch of rabbits live under there, seemingly able to sort of squirrel under the brambles for hiding, as they certainly do as you approach.
Yeah. Take one or two of the bodies, add like a little like sprig or two of like poison thorns on the side. It's great. I know what Verla's going to be entertaining herself with as the four of us are here.
All right. Well, Tyraxus would like to inspect the ruin. See if first of all, see if there is the access to a lower level beneath it. Maybe there's a dungeon or something underneath the ruin that's still intact. Stuff like that. If not, he wants to just assess the fortifications as such and try to estimate how much work would be needed to actually restore this to some sort of working order. Like, how many people would he have to have here to like actually man this and have it defensible?
Yeah. Give me a dungeoneering check.
Well, that's not gonna be easy.
Got it.
I mean, if
You
you
can do
could ask
this.
for help, if you wanted to.
Sure. Rexus will he won't ask for help as such, but he will walk around, hum and haw, and say like I wonder, in a sort of.
The version like, are you? Oh, I'm sick of this. Yeah, sure. He'll roll the thing to just Jesus, hurry up, man.
Nobody asked you, Verstrix, but thank
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah, but thank you. 17.
Yeah, well, that's you back. Yeah. Can you say that again slowly, please?
It's not hard. You've got time to look around. It does look like there's a small basement underneath, but certainly nothing resembling a dungeon. It mostly seems to be store room, basically. The keep and the harbor buildings had presumably whatever room whoever built this needed, really. The dungeon beneath has like a prison, and then like a dry storeroom before it with some like moldy grain and stuff that's been left on there. It's not really built for dragon sizes, so it's a bit of a squeeze to get down there for you.
Yeah.
But there's not. This wasn't built as a big dungeon.
What's the original purpose of this place? Because Worm's Hamlet is on the other, and over there's Elm. So what was it doing here?
Good point.
Yes. You could give me a history check, but I'll just say about the fortifications. Currently, the place is actually fairly defensible. If you had like if I had a good 20 men,
Yeah.
he could keep this against a much larger fighting force.
Especially with the wooden palisade stuff there. that
Yeah,
have been
yeah,
erected.
like most of the wall is still standing, and sure, the crenellations are crumbled and such. Like the one wall tower is completely fallen down, but you still can't like easily get over that stuff. If you can't fly, you'll have to climb it, and with all the brambles sort of covering it and growing up the sides, nobody would really choose to do that as a way of assault. It would not go well for you.
Especially not during a rainy season.
No, if you were to charge and storm in the entrance, I mean, there's like about 3 possible entrances. I mean, not bearing the sea, of course. But it's a fairly defensible location as is. If you wanted to clean it up and begin chopping things down and like repairing the houses and such, of course, a larger garrison would be better because you can have more than like 2 people on watch every night. But yeah, if you want the presence here, if you will, 20 people would definitely be enough. Would need to sort of keep it. You could do a decent job even with fewer by basically leaving the port area just like down there completely empty and just focusing on the keep itself. It's still having a roof. Functions fairly well. It has two stories, though the upper one seems a little bit like the floor might need some reinforcements. There's like a hole in a place where someone probably fell down through. But you got the storage room, you got the lower room. You could have clearly it's a pretty good place if you were a group of bandits, say. Though right now there might be very few travelers going south, given the refugees have stopped. Yeah. Then a history check if you want to like try to gauge out the original purpose of this thing, or what it could have been used for.
As a query Manikai, while they're like fussing over like history checks, how visible is like the sort of like the pathway, like the road or like avenue that like folks would travel south like from here, like because obviously like folks do like a crossing of the river if they want to go like further south. Like how visible is that thoroughfare from like the keep?
It is very visible. I mean, there's almost like a ravine in the middle, right? The keep is arising from the water, but it's still far below the mountain. But it has a decent overlook of the area between the mountain and itself. And certainly from the mountainside, the keep is visible as well.
So like with that in mind, like then like from like to like see like the north road, like Worms Hamlet, and then like the south, like this sort of like Eelford area could do that. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's a dock here. There's no real settlement around, so maybe this was like an expansion point at some point. I mean, he doesn't really know the actual reason, but if someone was to make an expansion, certainly would be a good place to like have an overlook of what's going on in the surrounding area. You could get here by boat, maybe avoid like if you could control the water of the lake, you could sort of move around easily enough. There's fishing. I mean, it's called the Eel Fort, so maybe at some point there were some eels going on.
Is there,
you know,
there isn't any major settlements south of us, right? It's just the plains.
There is a lot of plains, and then if you continue, there's Nathland, but this area is part of a significant trade route, if you will. Going further south, you would get to the city of Azam, which is part of the Shining Plains caravan route. Currently, that trade has been pretty much blocked by the Red Banner and their conflict with the Centaurs. I mean, presumably they might just requisition whatever anyone brings. But it is a very lucrative trade route, bringing goods as far as the sort of Shining Sea to the south. Coming up here towards Westgate and then towards Erebor to the Sword Coast. So were there not all the conflict going on, it actually is pretty lucrative sort of on that side of the river. Right now, it might all just go to Nathland, from where, well, it mostly stays, pretty much. Nathland is pretty sort of bent on isolation from the rest of the world. They had a very bad time when they established their nation, and they haven't really taken kindly to the rest of the world since then. So there certainly could be a trade purpose of watching over the plains or some such, though certainly there's a lot of plains to be watched over.
All right, well, harbor boats, maybe things were ferried along the river, who can say?
water travel is generally safer and faster than land.
Where does this go? It goes Elm, Red and Seer, Red Water, and then out into the Sea of Fallen Stars. Okay. Yeah, maybe this was like a loading area or something. Oh, well. We'll make mental notes trying to rebuild and settle this.
Yeah, but with the check there, of course, I mean, he didn't get any great insight into.
No.
Whatever.
I don't suppose anyone else has history trait?
Well, does Tilraxos explain what he thinks he knows?
Yes.
All right. Well, Verstrix hears this, and then Tilraxos stops,
Actually,
and Verstrix waits, and Tilraxos doesn't say anymore. So Verstrix is like, "Oh, he doesn't know anything, so he will try."
Puts on his nerd glasses and says, actually.
Well, actually, Tilraxos, I'll have you know.
Oh, Jesus
Oh.
Christ.
That's a crit.
oh, well, Varsix knows exactly why he remembers somehow instinctively. his ancestor spent significant time thinking about the small eel fort at the Serpent Lake for whatever reason.
Great
There's one
purple
dead here
worm.
nearby,
It's
so
like,
It's like, oh, actually, no, he knows exactly. Yes, this place was built as an outreach from Cormier in a period of greatness in the past. They have shrunken since then, though they currently are expanding down into this area. Again, you sort of tangentially heard that they've been basically offering protectorate status to all the cities north of this area. The settlements there are expanding. And Veligans knows that the Giant's Run mountains are actually known that they say that in these mountains there are a couple of large seams of silver, and this fort might or has definitely been established as a way to spread Comurian influence further towards the mountains in a bid to send out expeditions to find silver. However, in the long term, they did not find silver in this part of the mountains, and so the fort was never expanded to the settlement that it perhaps was established with the idea of being. It has a pretty good spot here. You can easily sail, sort of, if you control the river at least, you can sail supplies down here, and thereby easily sort of launch expeditions out to explore things. The reason for the name was that after they failed at their silver mining, a prominent noble who is now long dead established fish farms in the lower part where he bred and kept eels, feeding them pretty much whatever scraps he could get, but making a good business for himself, as the surrounding lands were expanding at the time. Many people needed food, and he happened to produce a lot of it. Looking down, you can even see like the now filled in like square areas where such things would have taken place. Yes, but there definitely are rumors of great silver in the mountains somewhere.
Vershix
Cormier.
comes out of his lecturing reverie to realize that everyone has already fallen asleep. Yeah.
Mhm.
You have enough.
Yeah, with that check, you'll probably go into the lineage of Lord Eel or whatever, and
Lord.
Yeah, Tarax like, okay.
the number of boats and how many.
Tarax is glazed. His eyes are glazed over.
Yeah. But as a staging point, certainly, our six figures, it could probably work the other way as well if it was to be established and like functional. I mean, there certainly is woods around to the south here. I mean, it's a pretty verdant area. There's lots of water running off the mountains with minerals. It's not too wet, not too dry. It could have great potential with boats built here, and you could like sail them pretty much all across. And,
The dragon fleet.
You could control this lake at least.
Yes.
Not that there's a great need for that at the moment, but who knows? With expansion and construction, perhaps it could be the heart of something.
For trade, it would be very useful to access.
Nods. Yes, yes.
If Elm isn't a smoking crater by next week, then who knows?
Looks over it and waves a claw. Oh, no problem. If we burn it down, I'll simply build it back up again.
Exactly.
How?
Well, you see, he smiles. What better way to keep tabs on the comings and goings of the local heroes than to run the local tavern and keep the local equipment store and general goods store? If we control trade, and if I can put buildings and personnel under my control in Elm, we would have an excellent idea of what heroes are coming and trying to, pester us. Good source of information. And of course, it is a legitimate business. Earns us money. Yes.
Money is good, yes.
Information, money, control is the best things in life, Miles.
Verlith coughs of a few bones and says, I do not think adventurers would be so keen, at least the ones you're hoping to keep an eye on coming to your new elm, if the old elm had been burned down. Possibly by a dragon.
Well, said, I mean, heroes are optimistic fools, aren't they, though? If they hear tales of dragons and adventure, they'll flock to anywhere. Looks over to Elm. It has a pesky tree and some druids and whatever it was, and if we can get rid of that, then the local resistance is broken and we can set up shop. Maybe we can rename it to Ash or something similar.
Isn't that what Worm's Hamlet is for?
Worm's Hamlet. Is it? I mean, the more settlements, the better, really.
Why stop at one, right?
All right, well, my curiosity has been satisfied on this fortress. I have some ideas how to proceed. Now then, you mentioned something about a necropolis up in the mountains.
I mean, just a series of well-maintained ruins, and we only went into one of the buildings, and it had delicious, guarded, but delicious treasure inside. So, go there. I'll show you. Why not? You said you could.
I'll show you into this nice little
Follow
cave.
me into this death city.
And Verlith begins to take off. Has like a string of like the thorns following after her, and heads back into the Giants Run Mountains, heading through the rain for the city of the dead.
I will be right back.
My God.
So Rex is like, wait 1 second.
He cliffhangered himself.
Yeah.
Dragons to the city of the...
That's right. a bustling metropolis has been set up in our short absence.
Oh.
Hey, the copper dragon has set up
store. It's great.
Copper Dragon has set up a competing franchise.
Well, hello there. Yes, he is out there doing somewhere, but all you've heard of him is that he's somewhere on the other side of the mountains doing things. And maybe that allegedly he's somewhat of a dick for reputation.
Yeah.
Makes sense, to be honest.
What
large trolly copper dragon.
What a jerk.
Yeah, dick.
Words that cannot begin to convey how much of a jerk.
I remember this.
The scene of the crime.
My body remembers this more than my mind, but yes.
A rare fact. But a fact nonetheless.
Try not to think about those times too hard. Times of travel.
I'll have Valigna think about those things next time.
Relation.
Yes, I remember this place fondly as the time my body was nearly broken.
I remember upon it so fondly.
Valigna fleeing in terror with 1 hit point. You're like, just go, and I'm like, ah.
Yeah. There's no bar to spin this tale into a good one.
That's right. I'll see you in hell.
Eventually. I'll say hi to Bezrak for you.
Thanks. Appreciate it. I wonder how Dad's doing.
He's doing stuff. That's what he's doing. Don't you know?
Shaking his head, clucking his non-existent tongue, because, he's a bone devil.
Yeah. If it weren't for you meddling kids, but I also respect your meddling.
Mm-hmm. The dark pride he sort of takes before he just, proudly fucks us over.
I did a good job. Well,
Hmm.
kind of like when you do, those sort of Hindu rituals where you make a giant sand painting and then in the end, you destroy it all.
Well, the journey was nice, but
he'd be like, they wouldn't have been my kids if they hadn't tried to do that.
I would have been doing my job right.
Right.
Yeah.
Lord Asmodeus gave him a job. Damn it.
He's here to do it. And the reward will be fantastic should he succeed, which he entirely expects to do. It's all going as planned. All right. Since Jonas hasn't seen this, I will give a summary.
Yeah.
Going across this land, the others will sort of show you the way over the large sort of lake, the strange bundles lying around it, fairly close to the valley. Continuing further, you get to basically quite a bit further across another ridge. You get to a series of cutouts in the mountainside that seem to be sort of terraces. Quite large and spanning a good distance. They're now all dry, though it seems in this part of the rainy season, water does run down them. It sort of trickles into small waterfalls. The area seeming to once have held dirt brought up from below the mountains to basically keep the water here for a decent amount of time, perhaps even allowing harvests in this brief period. Moving along these, you eventually get to a large sort of flattened area, still dried, and where you can see significant amount of ruins. Mostly just weather and wind and rain have reduced many of them to just like boulders and blocks of stone, broken ceramics. But in the center of it, a couple of buildings still stand. One large one surrounded by a couple of smaller ones, that couple being 4. Each is built of sort of a heavy set stone, clearly carved from surrounding mountains, clearly built very thick and solid to stand really the test of time, if you will. And they seem to have done so very well, still staying here, though the outside is certainly washed off and sort of damaged to make it basically impossible to see whatever was once engraved upon them. They seem to have been built with great ritualism, sort of carved into them. A great deal of work has been made to make them look a certain way. The doors, as you go close, seem to have been, you can see the one that's open, is sort of filed almost triangularly inwards, meaning that the door is very hard to... I can even illustrate now we have it open here. That might be easy to understand. As we have a sort of a... No, that doesn't work. No. Doesn't that work? No.
No.
Can't draw.
No. Why can't you draw?
Am I using the wrong...
Are you using the wrong layer?
Oh, no, I'm using a... I had my occupancy on 2.
Oh.
Yeah. The opacity being on 2 would make it hard to see. Yeah.
The door is effectively built like this, with the actual door being built like this to fit into the hole, in such a way as to make them very hard to open from the outside, as you're faced basically just a smooth stone surface. While from the inside, you need merely push the massive block of stone, and it should slide out of the way. Clearly, these doors were made, again, as I said, to be very easily opened from the inside, but very difficult to open from the outside. Suggesting that...
You're going to see a huge hole punched, not all the way through this, but obviously a handhold that Valignif used to basically just heft the stone out of here.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Inside the opened large building, you can see a splattering of bones and scorched earth and like at this point dried out blood having been splattered, particularly in this area over here. Some things, lots of ashes, and sort of a dusty, musky smell escapes the chamber. You see some coffins with the lids thrown to the side and a bunch of broken urns and such. While the other buildings remain sealed. Indeed, on the inside of the walls here, there's a lot of engravings of humans sort of bowing first to giants, then instead to an even greater being that seems to have liberated from them.
I want to follow along that thread, Manikai. That greater being, on the murals inside here, does the story continue with any sort of like greater detail than what it did on the outside? Because we didn't actually like inspect the walls like on the interior here when we were in here.
There are bits of text in each of these. You saw them last time. There's like a set of basically what is burial chambers. Each of those seems to have bit of information and such, and some of it is even in text. Though I don't think any of you read the old. None of you read the old tongue that it is in, making it rather difficult to actually interpret.
Okay.
Effectively, though, there would be a skill challenge in interpreting what all these things mean. You will not be able to complete the whole thing unless you have access to all of the murals in the various chambers, but you can get tangible text, or tangible, basically tell you a bit of the story, should you succeed in parts of it that are possible with the current.
I don't suppose that Verstrix has comprehend language as a ritual.
I haven't had access to buy them freely, so no.
Well, perhaps take a leaflet flyer for Raxus Thunder Emporium. Yes.
Shopping center.
If that was something that was available
in fine emporiums everywhere.
How about we just open the other goodie huts before we worry about translating anything?
Crack open the treasure eggs and...
Verlith like rumbles from inside like the damn tiny building. Well, don't wait on my accord then, Veligniv. Why don't you do the same thing that you did to this door here?
Oh, he will. He can't not do it.
Takes off his armor first to limber up.
Exactly. Stretch a bit, you know.
Sure, he's his armor off.
Actually, knowing what happened last time, he's gonna leave it on.
Okay. All right.
You know, just that's what it's there for, you know. Oh god, 15.
Oh, you're definitely leaving it on.
He punches into the rock, and it just shocks a bit, and sort of is pushed slightly tighter into the hole. Again, pretty strong. These walls seem to be.
Like, Lith like edges like her way like out into the doorway to like look.
Raxus looks as well. He's been here before. He assumes this is how you open these doors.
Well, there's no point working on one at a time, so Verstrix will try this one.
It's Verstrix moves. Verliv calls out a taunt of Lignith. She says, I thought you understood these doors, Velignith, with how well you handled the first one.
Understanding doesn't mean that they become easier to open if they are very old. They are like swollen, you know?
Verliv blinks and looks at Toraxus.
Toraxus looks puzzled, puts his head to the side like, huh?
Oh, well, why don't you give it a try and stop mocking me?
Sure.
One is not going to stop the other, I'll tell you that much.
Versus will try this one first. He'll activate the braces of mental might and attempt to punch a hole through here.
Think them open.
Yep. 27.
Oh yes, that is enough to to jerk his claws in, and even if he wishes to pull the thing
Yes.
out and open it, then so.
And hear the weird ringing of like
A saving
force.
throw. I should have pulled it.
Sure. What saving? Oh yeah, it's 40.
It's just a save.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, he manages to step back from the what seems to have been leaned up against the wall from the inside somehow is sort of large wrappings that clearly fall out and collapse sort of on the ground where he would have been of scattered bones that seem to have been systematically, basically every bone in the bundles have been broken. As they rattle out sort of everywhere and pretty quickly, perhaps surprising him compared to what happened in the other chamber that sort of almost had like an austere sort of expectance of not being disturbed. These ones immediately rattle into activity as the bones attempt to find their broken pieces amongst his bones. Which of course is not going to work, but it's certainly going to be unpleasant as they try.
Okay.
As we'll go into initiative here.
Verlith like calls with a free action. You see how easy that was for him, Valignith?
You see how bad of an idea it was for him to go first again?
Verlith doesn't mention that.
Well, maybe if you did it the first time.
Maybe shut up.
Draxus just puts a claw over his face. He's like, ugh.
Oh, I rolled twice for some reason.
People.
I'll give you the first one. As basically other Varstrix take another step back.
Yes.
Yet in the beginning, as what falls out is his masses broken bones.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Ugh. Hello.
Look at all those friends.
Bone swarm.
Is ready.
I'm getting flashbacks already.
They rattle out here. This one, just sort of falling out again, almost like a sort of a waterfall, moving almost like an ooze, like a little whirlwind of these bones.
This shambling mummy looks like me on Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
Wait until it does something to you.
This one will then make an attack.
Okay.
Against you. Using its swarm of bones.
No.
All right. And that is it.
Veristrix bats the bones away.
Of
Go.
course, you start adjacent to this swarm.
Okay.
You will get to do their swarm attack. So you take 5 necrotic damage plus 3 per bone swarm adjacent to the enemy. So that will be beyond the first one, I believe. So currently you just take 5.
Okay. It's fine.
As the bones begin to drain, and you see a couple of them try to sort of use whatever life force they can get to bring themselves back together from their broken state. Crumbled like a broken jaw, like trying to
Yeah, that's not good. Hold on.
assemble.
Okay, well, Veristrix will be like doesn't really have much time to chat or whatever. He will shift back. As part of shifting back, he will open his mouth and spray a blast of breath in that tight room there as a minor action. So he will hit here.
Okay, yeah, efficiency.
Yes. So
That's everything.
except
for the one that
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 I can see. So let's roll this. There you go.
So many numbers.
Here we have a no, a yes, a yes, a yes, no, no, yep, yes, and then we have a no, a crit. Well, that's
Crit for 1 extra damage.
Yeah.
10. Oh, this guy takes 10 more because he's vulnerable to area attacks. As we say, boom.
Yes. Boom.
This guy's half. Right? Half a miss.
No, it's not half on it. It's nothing
no,
on
on
a
a
miss.
miss is nothing. Yeah, miss you don't take any damage.
I know if our Dragon Breath did half on a miss too, that'd be even better. Like fuck yeah, put all the V's in that.
That would be quite strong. Right, let's see here.
All right. Some of the dusty things, like the psionics, I guess like blowing with force.
Yeah, it's a tight room. It feels very concentrated in there, right? So
yeah, all these things are rising up.
Let's see here. Well, Vertex will then use his action point because he gets bonuses for doing stuff with that. Because Tilraxis is here. Yeah, let's try and immobilize. Actually, can you single target swarms with like
You can target them
missions,
as if they were one enemy. Yeah.
Okay, all right then. I'll try that. He will
You just have resistance to any damage from single target.
Oh, that's fine. It's the effect I'm hoping here. He will try and like hold these swarms in place by gripping them with like, I guess like plates of psionic force. So these two here.
Those appear to be both succeeding.
Okay. Right. So that would be an extra 3 damage then. So that would be 18 each because of Tilraxis' resourceful leader.
Mm-hmm.
They
take so 18 is then halved into 9.
Yes, and then they're both immobilized if they can be until the end of my next turn. Wonderful.
Can be held in place.
Still has his normal standard, so he will use it to take flight. Over here, so 15 in the air.
So he pulls out the door, then a flurry of activity.
Yeah.
As bones sort of roll out.
He's like, nope, and then just nukes the place and leaves.
He remembers what happened last time, like claustrophobic and everything, sealed up in there.
Exactly. Vertex is done.
All right. Well, these bones will do what bones do, and move out.
What do bones do?
Seeking clearly a need for life force. As Varstic is in the air, they can't get him. They'll just move to the closest other thing.
Yes.
Who will then, Verlith? Well, then, by maybe trying to read the murals, we'll feel the bones that are beginning to drain the life from her tail.
It's bullshit. I need a fucking huge damage aura.
Mm-hmm.
Not fair.
Yeah, need a swarm of Verliths.
I know.
That's right. No.
That's right. Verlith didn't open that door. What the hell?
Only Gaffel had like 1,000 dragons. Then.
If only I could throw the entire swarm up to Varus.
Wow.
You
could fly and lure them into the air, but they just fall. So
you can take your damage and then your turn.
I took my damage.
All right, then your turn.
Fine. I'm gonna delay. I don't have anything I want to do right now.
All right. Kelhan will walk out and use its bow to shoot at Varistrix.
A bow! Oh no, I never expected this. Yeah, that's it.
4 damage.
Okay, it's not
This
bad.
one can't move. So we'll also shambling out here. We'll shoot its bow at Varistrix.
Yep.
As another swarm will move out, rolling up towards Tilraxus. Malignith.
All right. Malignith. That swarm is annoying, but it's here, so it is a target. But he also knows how Tyraxos usually acts, so standing right in front of him is going to annoy him. So let's go over here. I have 6, right? 6. Go here and smack the swarm, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
With... let's do basic attack. Diminish the swarm. 20?
That hits.
Nice. For 18 points of damage.
That'll be 9 points of damage.
Right, and he is vulnerable
Nice.
to all damage.
Alright.
I'll take
that'll be
my
his
turn after. I'll take my turn now after Sheeb, so go ahead and shift me on down. All right, 5 damage taken. How do I want to try and attack this bone swarm? Okay, here's what we'll do. Swarm of bones. She's never fought an enemy like this before. This is bizarre. I think I could use, like, I don't know, like a free action or whatever. It might even be a move, like, to scrutinize these things. Like, the fuck is a bone swarm, man, okay?
Like you see the first time you see it. Yeah, do like a religion check.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead and make a religion check. Bone swarm? 23.
Oh my. Yeah, no, these seem to have been deliberately like broken in half. This is particularly visible as it seems someone has taken great pains to do so, like basically sitting down with each bone and breaking it meticulously in a ritualistic manner. As for what is animating them, it seems to be the same power that's animating the rest of the place. They're not particularly dangerous in their whole thing. They will try to basically drain your life force, but she believes that it's very easy to actually destroy them. Like, they're not particularly tough, they're not particularly hard to hit, they're very easy to hit, in fact, as it were. But the danger of them comes should you be like buried in them, because if many of them get together, they might actually be able to like form something.
Yeah, I see.
Find enough life energy to fuse all these different bits of bones to something bigger and far more dangerous than they currently are.
Would a dragon be sufficient life energy to do that to the bone swords?
She probably would have enough HP to let them if she just sort of hung around them for a bit.
Oh.
But again, there's only 4 here, it seems. So
okay.
Certainly a greater quantity of bone would be worse.
Okay. But so concerned. With that sort of like rule, they probably can't be blinded, yeah? Like, it's just they sort of have like a blind sense sort of thing that they act on because they don't have eyes?
I mean, that would make sense, but they in fact does not have anything that makes them not able to be blinded. So yes, you can blind them, though thematically what you might actually be doing is just impair their ability to sense you.
All right, it's a rules intended versus rules as written confusion there. Okay, got it. I think I will just do a non-augmented twisted eye attack on this bone swarm. She doesn't like being like in this sort of building, but she doesn't want to back up in like the cramped quarters. That's going to be a 23 versus armor class for what will be 8 damage when it's halved. Actually, I suppose there's a vulnerability 2 attached there, so that's like 18, which is divided by 2. Yeah, so 9. And, Valignif's there. She doesn't have to be there. Not blinded. That was an unaugmented attack, so. Yep. I'm actually going to go ahead and shift back 1 in, like, the cramped quarters building, and then as a minor action, activate my Psionic Vigor for temporary hit points. It'll be my turn.
All right. Shambling from within comes a creature that just moves over enough to be able to see Valignith up there. Well, it certainly knows what it has to do for the one who broke into its home. Will move its standard action out here as well, and then it'll point up towards Varistrix, and he will feel
oh no, not again.
distance grasp upon him.
We
Use a
should have
minor
brought
action
people with
warding
fire
grasp.
arrows.
Which makes him take 5 necrotic damage every time he attacks until the end of the encounter.
Or it's dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll give it a purple aura to show that it has Varistrix cursed. Tyraxus. He's next to a swarm.
He sure
Deal him
is.
5 points of necrotic damage as they begin to sort of rebuild themselves slightly from his life.
1 hit point because I have 4 because of my crown.
Mhm.
In the beginning of combat.
No.
Alright. Well, let's do the measurements here. Alright. Tyraxus will activate the Shroud of Shadow. Generate some more temporary hit points for himself and get some concealment. And then he will move like this. Worm.
Sure, it'll attack of opportunity.
Yep. Oh god, what the fuck?
Make him 6 necrotic damage and ongoing 5 save ends.
Alright, well,
These swarms are no joke.
should have done that, but who knew these were death swarms? Then he'll charge the mummy.
I mean, I feel like death swarms is pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you get hit again, you take ongoing 10. Jesus, that's bad.
It's okay. He might save a bit at the end of his turn.
I hope so.
And he charges him.
He charges the mummy.
The mummy.
Are you my mummy?
That hits.
Yep. And
Destroy it.
Dread Smite on top of that. Additional
Mhm.
9 damage and 9 ongoing.
Hold.
This and
Oh,
And it's not even bloodied. Okay.
well then.
Well, we fought
Oh.
3 of those in addition to like Super Mummy, like deluxe.
the
edition.
deathly cold bites into it, though the necrotic doesn't do much.
Well
anything.
then. I think. Is it action point time? Perhaps. These things are nasty. Jeez.
Oh yeah, yeah. We bailed after clearing out that one room because we almost all died.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
we
no,
didn't almost
It's
all die, but
just me.
Oh, this,
Valignant
Yeah.
Valignant definitely had 1 HP. Whenever
Yeah.
He was safe.
I'll activate. I'll use an action point,
All right.
and I will use a Blood of the Mighty on this shambling mummy. Advantage.
Oh my god. Die, mummy.
I'm trying. 23 AC.
Yeah, that just hits.
52 damage.
It is bloodied.
Well, it's
Jeez. Wow.
need
Alright.
someone to finish this off then. Yeah, that is it. Make a save.
Take your 5 damage from the blood of the mighty.
Yep. I don't make the save.
No, he has ongoing necrotic damage.
I am done.
Yeah. Well, you're also now visible to this one, which will point at Tyraxus. It's wooden grasp. It can take 5 necrotic damage every time he makes an attack. Or it'll double move. Go here.
Is that a minor it can do whenever? Oh, wow.
This one is also still stuck. Maristrix.
Right. Okay. Well, I don't like these forms, so I can take 5 points of damage for that. That's fine. Yeah, he's gonna. Let's see here. Check what weapons I have. Right, staff thing. Okay. Okay, doke. He will use a daily here. He's going to use his hypnotic pulse on this spot right here. So throw him a psionic energy. Try and damage these guys and shock them a bit. Let's see. 4 of them. Ooh.
Yes, yes, yes. That's all hits.
All right. They all take 17 damage. Yep.
Now that is an area attack.
It is an area attack. Area
And
burst 1.
such, these two will take extra damage from vulnerability to area attacks.
All right.
Because swarms, as turns out, are weak to area attacks but resistant to non-area attacks.
Area 6 will take his 5 damage.
Those
The
bone swarms,
bone swarms are now save
dazed.
and stays, yeah.
Dazed but no longer immobilized.
Well, wait. He will activate his Orb of Augmented Stasis, and so he'll choose this one. As long as that swarm is dazed, it is also immobilized. The other one, Bone Swarm 6, is not immobilized, but still dazed.
All right.
Right, he can move. He's definitely going to do that. 2, 3, no. 1. Over here.
All
All
right. This swarm they're not really intelligent at all. They all just attack.
All right. 3 damage. All right. I'm okay with that.
5 and 5 ongoing.
It's not too terrible.
This one here gets a single action. We'll just move up. And then make a save. This one. We'll just move over here. Oh, here. Which is, yes. And then it'll try to use its attack.
That's it.
Right, so 3 ongoing, and you're now taking 10. Oh, no, 3 damage, and you're now taking 10 ongoing.
Am I taking 10 instead of the 5 or in
Yes,
addition to
instead
the
of
5? Okay.
They don't stack their damage. They just sort of augment it to 10 if you get hit twice.
All right.
Yeah. It begins to repair itself more. All right, you can take your 10 ongoing, and then
8.
8.
So 18. Ouch. All right. Then we'll take a step back. He will use a minor to heal himself using his Rune of Mending for, a lot actually. For 27. And then he will, as his other minor, uses a Dragon Breath on these 2 thingies, one of which is still vulnerable until the end of his turn.
Mm-hmm.
Also, since the other damaged him, he gets the damage bonus against that one, but not the other one.
So something like that, then.
I'd say they both damage him.
Yes. Okay.
Sorry, I think that makes sense.
So he does an extra 4 damage, which I will just include in the damage bonus here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He also does 2 more damage because he used his Rune of Destruction on the healing, so +6. That's a 1 against the top one.
No, and
That's
13.
a 31. That's better.
That hits. 13 plus 10, which is 20. Fire blasts across the bones, lighting some of them on fire and crumbling some. Dusty and old as they are.
And I think I'll save. Oh, I don't have an action point. Well, that
No,
makes it easy.
we only had 1 combat,
Yeah.
which was the City of the Dead.
Oh, that's fine. I didn't want to use it this combat anyways. Let's save against the ongoing. Yes. Very good.
Okay, makes it my turn. Hooray!
And it does.
This guy's no longer vulnerable.
Thank you.
Start my turn not adjacent to anyone. Hooray! I'll go ahead and shift up here, like that. Minor action is going to be to breathe poison, like so, targeting both bone swarms. She was not able to get out there into like the main fray, but managed to get a second bone swarm over here. Let's see here. Dragon Breath, 2 targets. It'll be 23 and 23 versus Reflex for 7 poison damage.
That is a yes. Greatly harmed, withering and crumbling to the burning air.
Right. Looks at Bone Swarm 8. Looks frustrated. Stupid damn thing. Can I move through a swarm?
I would. You're big enough that I would let you get an attack opportunity, but
All right. I just wanted to know for like future, future consideration. Okay, that's good. As my standard action, I'll go ahead and make a unaugmented Twisted Eye attack against Bone Swarm 8. That'll be 20 versus armor class.
It certainly hits.
For 19 divided by 2 damage. Okay. That'll be the end of her turn.
All right. This one will take 9 ongoing and crumble.
Woo.
Nice.
As the frost sort of rips it and tears it until the body just begins falling apart, unable to be sustained.
I feel great.
No longer cursed. Raxos is next to a swarm and will therefore take 5 damage.
It's an additional 5 for the ongoing, so 10 in total. Ow. Shift over here. We'll do a Dragon Breath. How big was the breath again? 4?
Well, like that?
Yeah, like that.
Okay.
Whoosh.
All right.
Mine's 4.
Alright, the mummy first.
That's a no.
Swarm, the upper swarm, and the lower swarm.
And yep.
Do you have combat advantage on the dazed ones? Reminder.
No, you're taking 5 points of damage here because that mummy cursed you, and you're making an attack.
Yes.
Yay.
After that, I will activate Vice's Reward. Get temporary hit points and power bonus all defenses, and make a saving throw. See if I can shrug off the ongoing effect here.
No.
Is that your 2 actions? Are you converting or?
Oh,
Yeah.
right, you're true. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I am. So that's
Nope.
okay.
And then you get your normal save.
Yep. Oh God. No.
Oh,
Damn it.
Damn.
I still have defenses and temp. So
This one has cursed you. It will move to act on its curse. Moving in to reach out its withered, bound up limb.
I will activate my immediate interrupt ability. It's going to be a bizarre chain of effects here, Manikai. I will use my lightning rush, which as an enemy within, let me measure that. That's 5 squares. Very good. We did it. Christmas has been saved. Before the attack, I move my speed to a square adjacent to the triggering enemy, which means I'll provoke an attack of opportunity as I move my speed. Like so. From that swarm I'm just chugging through. Okay, that'll hit me. I'll take that damage. That's that. 5 going. Alright, I took the damage. This will be 2 PowerPoint augment of my lightning rush against Shambling Mummy 4. That'll be only a 20 versus armor class.
Just
Yuck.
hits. Yeah.
Alright. That'll be 19 untyped damage. And I become the target of the mummy's attack.
Well, then it'll try to rot and grasp you.
I will miss. Mercifully so, because I remember that ability, and that was pretty sucky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as it tries to bring you to the grave with it, presumably with the intention to take you back to the tomb and then close it up.
Alright, so Mummy goes after Toraxos. Vertlith pounces through the bones, like some of them like get in her eyes and what have you. She feels necrotic energy. But she swipes at the mummy. The mummy in turn tries to grab her. Misses. All in an
This
immediate
one
fun.
is, still, we'll just have to do a save. It doesn't. Or asterisks.
All right. Well, I heard y'all swarms like AOE, so let's do more of those. Let's see here.
Yo, I heard you like AoE, so I put AoE in your AoE so that you
Exactly.
could AoE.
He's gonna continue hounding these debilitated swarms here. Fully augmented, dishearten. He'll have combat advantage.
Be sad, Swarm.
Be sad. Cry, bones, cry. Okay. So that is 12 psychic damage to both. And -3 to attack
Sad
rolls until the end of my next turn.
3.
Sad bones.
Okay. Cry calcium, I'm sure. Alright. Do I have anything else? Not
You're basically assaulting the magic that keeps them animated.
yeah. Alright, yeah, that's very strict. Yeah.
All right. Well, another thing is now the closest one. It'll move over and reach out to.
Actually, miss with a reflex attack. My God.
Step away from that. This one is dazed, but it still moves. So it'll do so, and then try to save. It saves. But that's its thing.
Yep.
This one is fine. We'll attack Velketh. Dealing 2 damage and 5 ongoing damage. Velketh, you can take your ongoing damage.
Wow. Got him that for Christmas. What a gift to
In
treasure.
addition to that, your next 2 swarms, so that would be
8.
8 more.
Sheep has refused. He will not. You can't make him. He doesn't have to take this shit anymore.
Futility.
I'm thinking 8 damage. I don't need to think about that, unfortunately.
Do you remember the 2 you got from the attack?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard Verlith, not Velligneth. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you got attacked, so you have 2, and then you have an ongoing 5 that you needed to take. There you go.
Jeez. Why does it have to be like this? And then Velligneth is gonna attack Bone Swarm 8 and will let's get some wrath going here. Which one do I need? I need the angry wrath, right? Destruction, and it hit me, so it takes a little bit more damage. 29.
29 against the wounded one.
Yes, the wounded Bone Swarm, the
Right.
bleeding one.
A bloodied boom swarm.
17 damage, and the next time it does an attack, provokes an attack of opportunity from an ally of my choice, which will most likely be myself.
All right.
And then with my minor action, not gonna do anything, I think.
All right.
Yeah, let's not.
Berlith.
Okay. No, Howie. Don't do that.
Got some ongoing damage.
I do have some ongoing damage.
Lovely.
There's a lot to go
Okay.
around.
All players love.
That's that. And then 5 more damage on top of that, which draws me to 65 hit points. Move action to shift me here, like so. Standard action to 2 power point augment a Twisted Eye attack against Shambling Mummy 4. That'll be 33 versus armor class with combat advantage against Shambling Mummy 4.
Definitely hits, yeah.
15 untyped damage, and the mummy is blinded. Which means it grants combat advantage, can't see anyone, takes a -10 to perception, and can't flank. Okay, that was a move. That was a standard. My minor action, briefly looking over my things. think that minor action will be used to, let's see, I'm at 2 power points right now. I'll go ahead and Battle Mind's Demand, and I'll have that mark go on the mummy.
We mark the mummy.
Okay, that'll be the end of my turn. I'll make a saving throw.
Yeah.
Ongoing, and succeed.
You do. So Raxus takes the 5 from the swarm. And I believe he's also taking ongoing damage still.
He is, because he did not succeed on his saves.
My saves suck. All right,
Your saves are the same as everyone else's.
sucky saves.
Right, stupid. Where's my paladin bullshit that gives me plus 97 on my saving?
Add my charisma to my saving throws. Come on.
I don't complain about my saving throws.
What the fuck? Well, this is all awful. I will activate Recording Virtue. Generate even more temporary hit points because gosh darn it, I need it at this point. That.
Good news, I've
Oops.
blinded the mummy, so no matter where you go, you'll get some advantage. The bad news is that the mummy's got like another 80-ish or so hit points, I think.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's like one charge, right?
That's... No.
No.
Come on, just believe in yourself, Taraxos.
He's also not going to be able to shift and charge the mummy just due to its position.
Yeah. I'm gonna shift over here. Perhaps confusing the bone swarm to go for me over it. Who can say?
Who can say?
Yeah. Do a swipe. Actually, I'll swipe first and then move because I get more damage.
You'll have combat advantage anyway.
Yeah,
okay.
but I have Vengeance Strike. The more
Okay.
enemies that are around me, the more damage I do.
That's right.
Oh,
Forgot about that one.
Yeah, we'll do this. The classic. Kids love this.
Own vengeance.
Own vengeance. Mm-hmm.
Kids don't know about my bone vengeance.
3 AC?
You're taking the mummy?
Yes.
Yeah, that hits.
25 damage, and we'll put the Dread Smite on top of that for another 9. And then I will shift over here like so.
Yes. All right. It'll take its ongoing then. Schmack.
Smolder
And,
and melt, stupid mummy.
Oh, by the way, you should take your damage, your 5 damage from attack.
Alright, yes.
And then it'll minor action to put this on Verdolith instead.
What?
Can it even see me to do that, mana guy?
That's a true point. So I guess it'll have to wait until it's not blind. Yeah, no, in which case it'll continue attacking until Raxus. Because screw that guy. Trying to swipe at him with a -5, I believe.
Yes.
Yep. -7
Attacking.
total, because not just blinded,
It'll
but
be at a -7, so no.
No.
Is what that means. It struggles to reach out and swipe wildly. And then it'll make its save against the ongoing.
and does so, but takes what, 4 damage on the way out the door?
4 damage out the door.
Hey, any damage is good damage.
The best feat, I
Certainly
think.
isn't much left of it. This one just gets to have a save. No, it's still stuck.
Haha.
Nice.
Forever, seemingly.
Bone swarm.
Worst.
Continue to relive the breaking of the bones.
The bone breaking.
Alright, disheartened again, fully charged. Blow these to smithereens. Oh, crit.
Critical bone breaking.
Oh my.
Critical reliving.
Critical reliving.
Kaboom!
Explodified, and then we have whatever.
29 crit damage.
Ablamo.
They are both removed.
Showers and splinters
Dust,
all
yeah.
over us.
Who knew that this hardening could be so explosive?
They cried themselves to pieces. Anyway, that's that's very six done.
I mean, it's very disheartening to be exploded.
I know, right?
Can confirm. Not been exploded before.
Whoa, okay. Well,
If I like this.
Alright, he gets an attack opportunity back from Velinov.
All right.
Didn't damage me, so just 21 for 10.
5.
That was barely worth it. Okay.
And he hit for 3 damage, and your ongoing becomes 10.
Always wanted 10 ongoing.
Your favorite. It's Christmas.
Yeah. Oh. God.
5, and it's still 10.
Yeah, it's like double 10.
10.
Now you can take that 10 plus 8 from their presence. So 18
Oh
total.
boy.
I am very bloodied.
You can just fly. I mean, they can't hit you, so.
But no.
Okay,
That's right.
well, don't
He
say
didn't
more.
need. He didn't need that long rest. Shut up, Baka.
Yeah, sure. all the stuff I got for making bad decisions.
I mean, on the one hand, you're right, but on the other hand,
He can't
You're
concede
right.
that you're right.
No, clearly not.
It's the principle. He's a red.
um,
He doesn't run.
well, Radiknov is gonna try to execute this Boom Swarm 8 here. His Executioner's Call. You just get a damage bonus because he got damaged. 27
27 hits.
for 13 points, which is halved, obviously.
It'll still do it.
Oh, good. My attack to set someone else up killed something. That's very good. And then he'll take a step back.
Sure.
All right, let's roll a save. No, I'm gonna, I think for the first time ever, use Veligno's Circlet of Second Chances to reroll that.
Alright.
And still fail. Good. I tried.
Bone Swarm. If it could wish, it would wish it had more Bone Swarms to combine with. Verdlith.
Okay. Shit, I can't let that happen. Okay. First thing we're gonna do is I don't want to keep this blinded. I don't want it to do its mummy little wag, shake finger, and hurt anyone for a truckload of damage. Verdlith remembers the last time we were here, and that sucked. So I'm going to 2 power point augment a Twisted Eye attack again against Shambling Mummy 4. That'll be 34 versus armor class for 19 damage.
Oh yes. It is destroyed.
Bam! As Verlith whiffs up one of her meaty claws, and combine that with the psionic energy, just sends it right through the mummy.
Shattering it completely.
And because, again, can't have Velignev be pursued until the end of days, she, looks over the damn swarm, lets out, a puff of, backward, smoke, and, move action, takes her here. That'll be the end of the turn.
Tyraxus. No longer
Yes.
cursed.
Yeah, I'm no longer cursed. Tyraxus likes not being cursed. You shall move like this, and then charge. Smash the bones.
Mash the bones.
Bones!
On the one hand, we could fly away from them. On the other hand, Velignev's not flying, so the damn bone swarm, we keep going after him.
Across the mountains.
It would hound him.
Before, as I see?
Yeah.
28 damage to the swarm.
Smack. Breaking and shattering them. Getting to crumble.
This is difficult.
Restricts.
Disheartened corner pocket.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like playing Tetris. Gonna pop this here.
Oh my.
Unaugmented. He's no power left. He's used all of it for now. 26 versus will for 10 psychic damage and vulnerability, I suppose.
-2 to attack rolls.
It'll take more damage. due
Yeah,
to
it's an
the
AoE.
area burst.
Yes. Absolutely right.
Ooh. That is a lot of damage for an AoE. I like that.
Yeah.
Who's next? Well, if it moves towards Malignant, then Malignant's next.
Nah, the bone swarm's not going to move. It's going to attack one of the dragons next to it.
Yeah, well, then flanking's being played. Yeah, that's fine. He's not going to use this distraction. All right. He is fine and dandy. He's sitting up in the air here. Healthy enough.
It'll attack Rodolith. Oh, shoot, Jen.
That will not do it.
Will not do it.
It's hard to hit someone you're crying, so.
Rodolith, you're ongoing, then your turn.
Yes, favorite part of the day. He's gonna Move forward and use this attack because it's still red.
Okay.
Good reason.
Works. Yeah.
32 versus Will for 16.
That hits. Yeah.
Great. First time any ally hits the target, target will attack itself, which probably won't do much, but it's something.
Might not do anything to it due to the necrotic that it does.
Yeah, I assume so. Minor action for him to heal himself. Oh, decent amount of healing again. Nice.
Mm.
And make your save for the love of God.
I want to.
Yeah.
did.
All right. Mission accomplished. Hang up the banners. Great. Standard action is going to be to unaugment a Twisted Eye attack after I take my 5 hit points of damage, like so. Unaugmented Twisted Eye attack against Bone Swarm 5. 18 versus armor class for 9 damage there. Have.
Crushing it.
Good.
Verlis had enough of this shit. Bites down the last few bones that like are animated.
Crushing them.
Cuts a heavy claw through the rest. Disperses it.
The combat is over. No more bones spill out of that particular tomb.
Verlis, without missing a beat, looks towards Taraxo and says, like I said, City of the Dead.
Draxus lets out a puff and sits down promptly.
Well, Tilraxos, you wanted to know what's in there. Feel free.
Hey, I'll take a look. I just need a little second to catch. Sort of picks a bone out of a wound, and it's like takes it off.
Short rest in order, I'm sure.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Like,
I think we could be here for the next 800 years without being disturbed. So
It certainly seems like you have time.
Can I
on your
get
side
some
here.
runes of mending?
Sure. Well, we're taking a short rest, so I've got infinite again.
well,
no, it's still time. It's not infinite.
you still have to string together multiple short rests.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I am willing to do multiple short rests.
+8.
Yep.
So now that I've spent 2, we would have to take another short rest if you want more.
Didn't you spend 2 already for this?
I spent 2 in combat and now 2 out of combat.
I mean, you can wait around for another 10 minutes.
Yeah, might as well.
It's fine. I
Need
mean, maybe
to
the
get them
2 other
back,
dragons
so-
want to go do something or look around or something, but
6
Uh,
plus.
I mean, looking into the room, you can certainly see that there are different like mosaics and such in this room.
Okay.
Other bits of text is broken up bits of language. Written.
Is there anything like physically valuable in there, or is it just the text?
Yes, there is in the back where this shambling mummy was. Basically, this one had a standing position. It was just leaned against the wall until it animated, and around it are like silver in various types. It seems to be while the first one, like the main one there, had a lot of like treasure stuff. This one has like offerings, like bowls of silver, full of what seems to be intricately made little like sort of silvery like you call it like a fruit figurine almost, like a dates or like grapes and such, all made of silver, worth 1,000 gold.
250.
All right.
250, you'd say.
Find a lot of silver treasure in and around and beneath this valley.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Where it all came from.
there's still more to see, so
Keep in mind, out of character, this apparently was a medium goal to explore the city.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
well, there's this, and then the skill gems to decipher this, and there's more. And there's a lot here. I mean, we've been here. The second session we've been here, so
Mhm.
I think it's worthy of the title. Verstrix will, after the rest, I guess, will attempt to open this door again.
All right, knowing perhaps that there'll be other
Yeah,
things.
yeah, he knows.
I'd say, you know what? If anyone wants to look at these things that are written about, you have the main chamber and one of the others open. You could get some information. It seems that each of these 4 ones are dedicated to a particular verse. If you will.
Okay.
So if you want to, before you move on, take a
Yeah.
look at what you have. That might.
Sure. Let's try and decipher at least maybe the order these are in somehow.
I mean, you only have one so far, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is it only the one in the small one and not in the main chamber?
The main one
okay.
basically it lets you interpret.
Ah, okay. Makes sense. Sure. Let's first take a look at it. See what linguistics he can pull here.
All right, and you did this one. Yes, this verse appears to not be the first one in the line, but when you translate it, it states, "We threw off the lords as the chosen dreamt. We broke tradition as the chosen commanded. We punished those who offended the chosen."
Interesting. It seems like a historical telling of
Effectively, it's
civilization here.
written across around, and you see the murals would depict, a single figure, a single human, basically, with like a halo around them, and then around is a group of humans that seem to basically oppose that figure, and then another group of humans that strike them down with cudgels, apparently.
Okay. Just for the purpose of keeping things moving, can I get that in chat just so I can keep a record?
Of course.
I don't want to keep asking you. Okay. All right. It's good to have that deciphered now. Does Valignant want to try again, or
No, absolutely.
yeah, Veristrix can do it, but let the dragon do the job that's suited for it.
Exactly. No.
Okay,
You just don't agree with him.
you tried your best.
Again, eventually he can do it if he just wants to stand there and push and pull.
No. You go ahead. You go first again. Surely it'll go great again.
Well, his braces are in counter, so after the rest he can use them again, and he will do so. 21.
Oh, yeah, he can just manage to as well open this one.
All right.
Using his magic item to overcome his physical lack of something.
Lack of dragonness.
Vertilif looks over Valignum and says, "That's 2 doors for him to your 1."
Well, who's counting?
I mean, Vertilith is clearly.
Wow. Okay.
I thought that was pretty obvious.
As you open this one, you see that the things here are basically almost like baskets around, more so than urns, and from them come a lot more of what you have seen at this point, a little bit. As this seems to be a room dedicated to
No.
pandemic caretaker.
More swords. No.
There's no chance these are not leaned against the wall. These are basically kept here in large amounts. I think they had a lot of these like piles of broken bones.
Sure.
Stored. They will begin to here and make an attack.
Nope.
Thing. This will move here and make an attack.
No.
All right.
Logjam.
So we'll provoke.
I can't attack.
Damn it. Damn your implements.
I know, right? They're useful, but not for this.
We'll provoke as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh-oh.
To Rexus.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Basically, the door is opened after Vatican sort of tries and it's like, ah. And then
I'm
First,
sorry,
maybe
but
I'll
this
consider two,
I can't pass this up.
I was about to say the same thing.
It's
You
okay.
do a breath attack like this.
Excuse me.
I breathed on them both the last time we were in this damn city because how many minions were on them?
Start with Varstrix, and then we'll take the others.
I took a damn feat for you. You just blow your fucking breath over me.
It's
Wow.
fine. I'll miss you.
Yeah, I'll miss you too after this.
One way or another.
All right. Let's go.
It's time to crit.
And one.
No, that misses me.
Alright, then we need again.
Yeah, and then the swarms. And 1 swarm, 2 swarms,
Yup.
3 swarms,
Yes.
4 swarms.
Oh yes.
Aha! See, that's the type of control Tyraxos has.
18 for each of them.
Yes.
Which
Control.
which says that you really actually wanted to hit me, but you had
What?
yourself back.
Excuse me, that is not at all.
Yeah, as lightning strikes and arcs out.
Yeah.
You were but a conduit for the power.
Varstrix, hearing the dragon behind him, maybe like managed to just move up his feet.
Yeah.
Like,
what?
Up, up. Still.
Yeah.
Well, he's very Slytherin and Serpentine. Oh, hey, I'm not done.
Oh.
Excuse me.
Okay, well, alright.
After this, I will do a charge like this.
Well, I'm sorry for you two then.
That's okay.
I might be wondering how I got myself into this situation.
Record scratch freeze frame.
Yeah.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering.
Just as fire lightning flies everywhere around.
And so that weakling Valignif couldn't open the door, forcing me to take point yet again.
Yes, he couldn't.
These yahoos would be dead 10 times over if it wasn't for me.
Hard to open Varstrix.
Charge attack.
Do it.
Do it.
Now, of course, I could have tried to have Tilraxos open the door
Whack.
as he originally
That certainly
intended.
hits.
But no.
Yep, 25 damage and yes.
I made my will reality, and my new will was to merge with the bones, become a Draco Lich.
Oh, that's a good idea, actually.
Power. Yeah, I'm done.
Alright.
Alright. Let's go.
Just waiting for the impending. Do you realize I'm going to take a crap ton of damage on my turn?
Well,
It's
that's
fine,
what I'm
we'll-
here for. Don't worry.
We'll kill
You
them
healed
before it
yourself
comes to
last
that.
time.
Why don't you get a little bit closer to them, Sheep Wink?
Hey, if you provoke for them, I can move. Oh no, wait, it's not the system. Never mind.
I think this is fine.
Alright.
You know, if you went the other side, you could just hit me. Oh no, never mind.
No, there's no way not to hit.
It simply cannot be done. You
I
understand?
mean, I'm inevitable. It's just
It's-
to
it's
access.
impossible.
The two buddies and then the 4 foes.
Alright, so that's Tyraxos. That's pretty high. Verstix
No, that misses.
misses. Good.
Nimble reflexes.
Bone Swarm crit.
Yep.
That's actually the same damage.
My heart skipped a beat.
You rolled max, right?
I did roll max. Oh, right, and the weapon doesn't apply to breath.
No, it doesn't.
Yes.
And 2 more. Pretty good.
They all take a lot of damage.
Tilraxos knew it was only a matter of time before fire got breathed on his beautiful icicles.
The final betrayal has happened.
That's right. It only took 31 sessions, but here we are.
Final one. Yeah.
Yeah, this will be the final betrayal.
This is it.
The last betrayal of Tyraxos.
That's right. 2 buddies, he said.
It's
My
just-
fourth bone.
Friends, he says.
Um,
We're in this together, they say.
Because that was only a move and minor from you.
yeah, I'm looking. I can't do anything if I'm not adjacent to an enemy.
What fresh backstab do you have in mind?
No, but the only enemy you're adjacent to is Tilraxis, so.
No.
Yep.
No, that'll be his turn.
Right. This swarm move here, and then it'll have to. There. Fire Strix, you're adjacent to
5.
5. So that is
5
4
plus
times
12,
12, which is
17 damage.
That's
Okay.
not
From the
too
swarms.
bad.
That is 1/3 of my.
As the bones all dogpile the purple dragon.
Sorry, how
Training
much again?
17.
Thank you. Okay, does that bloody me? That's important. I need to check. Let's see.
Nope. You're bloodied at 27.
Oh, god damn it.
I mean, you can move, and then you'll provoke, and probably become bloody very.
So if only one of you bastards had hit me with your breath, I would have become bloody.
Find fortress and run.
There's only one way to get out of the situation. That's a really stupid idea, but you know,
Tell me more.
us dragons live for stupid ideas, right? So,
Do we?
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
some
yeah.
of us do. Valid.
Some of us.
All right. He will attempt to do a ranged attack, which means he will provoke from everything.
Right.
So roll me the roll the first one.
Yes.
And we'll take it from there. That is a
3 damage.
going to be a miss because he'll use his direction to add 3 to his reflex with his intellect fortress.
Okay.
Till the end of his turn.
24 reflex. Miss. That's a hit. It's fine.
7 damage.
5
ongoing.
Yep. How likely are they going to hit me? Nah, not very likely, are they? It's fine. Valiga said he could heal me, so I'm sure it'll be fine.
All right.
He lied.
And
Miss.
Well,
All right.
Alright.
Let's do this.
Now you're bloodied,
You
if
made a
that
ranged
makes a
attack.
difference.
What ranged attack are you doing? Or did you just
My
want to do
breath.
it?
No, my breath. I will
Mhm.
do.
Against Tyraxus advantage.
Yeah. Because it actually has a beneficial effect, unless, you know. So 2 of them get +1 to attack. And all of these get hit, so, well, attempt to get hit. 1, 2, 3, 5. Oh, pow. I see a crit in there. That's nice.
No, and the other ones hit. The last one here, taking maximum, which is 11 plus 10, which is 1. The rest of the 17. Plan.
All right.
Many of them crumbling at this point.
Verishix
They're doing a significant amount of damage, though.
Yes, having provoked, Verishix will take flight again, backwards. He has 4 flight, so he can do this. I'll go 50 in the air.
All right.
And that was a minor in a move, so he has a standard, which means he'll do something else.
Disheartening.
Or yes, that's a good idea. He will
Yes, do
dishearten.
it.
This.
All of it. All of it.
All things, more things.
Yep, that is all hits. Their will, it turns out, is terrible.
Yes.
I guess if my bones were like forcibly broken and reanimated like this, my will would be shitty too.
Maybe they were not made for the most.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the people were broken before the bones were.
Verishix's gambit has worked, kind of. He's bloodied, but he's not bad.
Mm-hmm. All right. With the watcher of these forward to the nearest one, dares to Raxos. Will be cursed
what, me? I haven't done anything. Look at that guy.
right there. And it'll walk up to you.
Oh, god damn it.
Oh no. How dare he? Is he approaching me? How dare he?
This one can move over here. They're a little faster, so you can also
Mm.
attack.
Well, great. That's a hit.
6 necrotic and 5 ongoing.
Oh. Valky, you should save against your ongoing.
Yes.
Because you did get hit by one of them.
Yes, I did. Thank you. I saved. Yeah.
All right. So you ended up not taking any damage from that. Great. Yeah. All right. Let me measure this out here because I don't want to commit crimes against my allies.
Yeah.
You know.
I care.
The new
I'm
card
a
game.
friend.
Right. I care. So that'll be that,
New
which I'll
card
be able to
game.
fire off by
Crimes
moving
against
here.
allies.
That's right. So Vertilith moves here, and she lets out a gout of poison, basically into the space that Veristrix vacated, like dousing of this, like around the doorway, what have you. That would be 6 targets. Oh boy!
Yeah, it's juicy, isn't it? Love when it happens.
Oh boy!
5 targets, right?
Is that 5? I guess that's 5. My bad. I can't math.
We have a yes. We have no. Yep. And yep.
4,
Everything
7
but
poison.
10. So this guy first, and then this one, 17. Destroying another one of them.
Hooray!
The others.
Okay.
The numbers begin to dwindle beyond critical level.
Hooray. So that was my move. That was my minor. I have a standard. And, well, I'm actually going to target the Shambling Mummy with that. I am going to 2 PowerPoint augment a Lodestone Lure attack. Which gives me a melee 5. And I'm going to direct it against that damn mummy. Okay.
Well,
That's going to hit. So that's going to be 19 untyped damage because it's an augment 2. So 19 damage on the mummy. It's pulled 4 squares towards me.
All right.
So you can put it like there. It's knocked prone, and it can only move to squares that are adjacent to me until the end of my next turn.
So undignified.
As she yanks that damn mummy next to Raxos through the cloud of bones right next to her, knocks it down.
I think being a mummy is the height of undignification, but
I don't know. It's been properly preserved and embalmed. Come on.
true.
That is going to be the end of her turn. I usually move minor and standard. I have an action point now because I've been through 2 combats. So does Sheep, but I don't intend to use it right now.
All right, well,
I'm done.
So we'll move over here and make an attack.
That will miss.
So Raxos, you are next to a swarm, so you can take your 5 damage.
Yep.
I believe you also have 5 ongoing at this point.
40 Raxos. Well, we'll do a what's this reward? Rid of the ongoing and get some more temp. Yes. And does it? I really shouldn't be fighting this.
I know, right? What a setup. You were set up.
Yeah,
Bamboozled.
I can't reach the mummy really, unfortunately. Well,
I was hoping that it would curse me on its turn instead, since I yanked it towards me.
yeah. Well, I'll have to smack the bone swarm again.
That's
The bone swarm blocking your way.
The bone swarm. So I take 5 damage right away, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I'll use Dominator Strike then, so I can generate 5 temporary hit points at the end of it. So,
Ooh.
Myself.
Right. Even it out.
Yeah.
That's cheating.
Well, thank you.
Dominator strike.
I'm a dragon. I don't care.
That's right. It breaks the rule.
Yeah.
Well,
Never cut a deal with Tilraxos.
Oh, he honors his deals.
It's fine. He's a people person.
Yes.
down to
I'll
4.
add a Dread Smite on that thing.
All right.
Yeah. Smitten.
I don't think the ongoing gets halved on the swarm, does it?
I don't think so. No, I said 9 ongoing.
Wonderful. No. That's it.
All right. Well, yeah.
You'll take
enough roll.
adjacent
5
damage.
Yes. Favorite.
It's the best part.
I'm trying
Guaranteed
really-
damage, baby.
Everyone loves the undead, you know?
I'm trying really hard to avoid taking damage because I'm down to 2 healing surges, but it's just not working. I can't not take damage.
Well, it's like, we don't really have ranged weaponry because we're dragons, unless we had, spikes that we shot out of our bodies, so...
I don't even have ranged abilities.
Yeah, that would be problematic.
Yeah.
At least I have a ranged ability.
Alright, reverse wrath against this bone swarm who did hit me, so it takes more damage. 28 for 19.
That hits.
Great. And then he's gonna take a step back. Where is he? Is he? Yeah. Surely that swarm won't follow.
I'm gonna boop you on the nose, Swarm, and then I'm outie.
Over here.
There we go.
Attack Verlith. Is a crit, which does exactly 7 damage. So
It will also provoke an attack of opportunity, which will come from Verlith, I guess. Because Verstrix isn't even range.
I'll go ahead and take my damage first. I had 81 minus 7 is 74. Now I have an ongoing 5. Sure. My attack of opportunity will go out against this creature with a melee basic, which I can do that because I actually have an ability that can be used as a melee basic counter thing. My grasping claws on the Bone Swarm 4. 17 versus reflex.
yes, hits.
8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 untyped damage, and Bone Swarm 4 is slowed until the end of my next turn.
Slowed.
Aha! You'll never escape me now.
Marstrix.
All right. Dueling influence. I feel like he's like one of those jade dragons that holds those two orbs for some reason. Yeah, let's do what he does best: ranged attacking from afar. Let's dishearten these creatures.
That looks like all hits.
Wonderful.
That is delightful.
Maximum
Damage.
power.
And -3 to attack.
Yes.
That is pretty mean against these ones. Their attack rolls are not the greatest to begin with.
Wahaha. All right. Yeah, he'll stay there. He's fine where he is.
Hovering around. This mummy will stand up from being prone, and it will point to Verdlith.
Makes sense.
Its grasp.
Yup.
She's close to its tomb. And then it'll try to touch Verdlith with its other grasp.
Actually missed me.
Missing.
Yes.
Yeah, I know how high those rolls can go. You can't trick me, mummy. Trying to lure me into a false sense of security. I know.
Swarm. Ongoing damage. Then it'll attack Tolraxos. 3 damage and 5 ongoing.
Yep.
And then it will not save. Verdlith.
Looks like I'll take 8 from the swarms, then 5 ongoing, so 13. So let's see here. That's 74 minus 6. Okay. Verdlith looks at her enemies, thinks about things. Well, it's behind her. She's having to kite and save and preserve the little fleshy, weaky ones, as she had to do before in times past. That is her destiny. Verdlith will look at the shambling mummy, thinking that Berestrix will probably be able to nuke these swarms, or so she chooses to believe inside her heart of hearts. Will 2 power point Twisted Eye attack the shambling mummy. That will be 33 versus armor class.
Yes.
For 11 damage on the mummy, and it is blinded until the end of her next turn.
Blinded.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, that
These
was a
mummies being
move.
handled in a way to make them not,
I
You also
know.
take the 5 damage from attacking.
I will. Be down to 56. Minor action is going to be for Psionic Vigor to give myself 8 temporary hit points.
Mhm.
And then a move action is going to be to shift back 1. The mummy's blinded. They can work for it if nothing else. Maybe get those bones forms further away. I'll be end of her turn.
All right. They just go for whatever's closer.
Yep, that's good. That's fine.
Move over and attack.
That bone swarm no longer slowed. That 18, is that factoring in the minuses that
Yes.
I'll give just hits? Yep. I forgot to make a saving throw against my ongoing damage. Could be relevant. We'll save, so I'll have 2, and then I get the 5 back on me. Okay.
So Raxos can take 5 from being next to the swarm.
Yep. Shift here and charge the mummy.
Mhm.
Charge attack.
He has advantage from the blindness.
Oh yes. Wonderful news.
And is next to 2 enemies, or 3 total, I suppose. And a
Well,
friend.
the one I see, 33 damage to the mummy.
Shit is bloodied. Pieces are ripped and smashed off from the surprising attack from behind. Of course, a mummy doesn't really
I
the ability to be
think, yeah, I
surprised.
think I have 1 dread smite left.
You've used 1 this fight, yeah.
Yep, I have 1 more. Dread smite on it, 9 and 9 ongoing. Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
All right. Radagnath.
Alright, Radagnath will go here and befuddle that Bone Swarm 4.
Mm-hmm.
30 was
Yes,
his
very
will.
befuddled.
So befuddled. Still alive. Unfortunate. And then with a minor, we're going to pop a heal on Veristrix.
You mean the guy who'll never be targeted by anything for the rest of this combat? Okay.
Hey, he promised to heal me, so he's just.
I suppose he is living up to his word, yes?
I don't see the target selection. I don't think we'll take enough damage for my target selection to matter for the heal.
It's good to have dreams.
And for both Tyraxus and you, it will most likely overheal. So, Veristrix, take your healing surge plus 4.
Yeah.
But most importantly, everyone gets a plus 2 power bonus to damage, which I actually should have used before my attack. Manikai, could I retroactively change the order there?
Bonus damage.
Thank you. 1 damage might matter. Who knows?
As before. All right, well, this
First.
one was just attacked, so it'll just attack Radagnath back
That's fair. Oh boy.
for 6 damage and 5 on Veristrix.
Why did you stand there? Okay, well, okay.
What?
Not you. Tyraxus, I can't AoE now without hitting you, so I will be a nice dragon. And actually, no matter what I do, I'm gonna hit someone if I want more than 1 target.
That's
so.
fine, you can hit me.
I will. I'll roll for you first. I'm not gonna power this up because I'll probably murder you. So first one is Tyraxus.
Haha.
20.
Tyraxus
misses
cannot be
Misses.
disheartened.
Okay, that's good.
Yes, and no. Hits the 2 swarms. Mommy.
Good.
Which arguably might have been what you wanted. One of them shattering, the other one close to doing so as well.
It seems like. Did I cut out at some point? I guess I did. But yeah, that's what I intended Tyraxus to be hit first. Yeah, so that works out.
Go reading order every time.
Yeah. That's him.
All right. This one will take it ongoing. Well, I guess it can't really see what Verlith would be, so I guess it would just shamblingly fumble against Talaxos with a -5. So 22.
Exactly hits.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Right. 20 necrotic damage, and you cannot regain hit points until the end of its next turn.
I don't suppose it was marked by Verdlith.
No, I didn't mark it. I just assumed it would come after me. Didn't think you would charge it, and I didn't lightning rush it because I was just like, it has a -5 to attack.
And it saves against its
It's also quite interesting how healthy mummies are.
They are, yeah.
Yeah, it takes a lot of punishment to go down.
Preserved
Typical
and
for undead,
embalmed.
really. Not too difficult to hit, but lots of hits. This one, bloodied by the ongoing damage, and then it too. Tyraxos. 7 damage and 5 ongoing.
The mummy took an additional 4 when it saved.
Nice.
And Verlith are no longer cursed.
No longer cursed.
Fucking worth. That feat has killed a lot of enemies.
That bonus form will take damage then from saving.
That's true.
Yep. Alright, Verdlift's turn. Verdlift no longer cursed. I do take ongoing 5. I will do so. That cuts into my temporary hit points. Looks at the wonderful, snuggable bone swarms. Doesn't feel like yanking them further away is appropriate. Go ahead and move next to this one. I have 2 power points left. Augmenting doesn't really matter, so we'll unaugment Twisted Eye attack on Bone Swarm 4. 32 versus armor class 4. 16 divided by 2 is 8 damage on Bone Swarm 4.
Crumble.
Crumbles, crunches, crushes.
It's broken and shattered.
The other one is not in range for me to mark, so the minor action will go to Charity. I'll go ahead and make my save. I will fail that save.
All right. Tyraxos. 5 ongoing and 5 from the swarm.
All right. Well, you just have to swing at the swarm, really.
Yeah.
24 with AC, 20 damage, and generate some hit.
And a save. Melineth, take your ongoing.
Oh god, I also have ongoing. Okay. Nice. Should I have saved against that? I believe I should. No, I wasn't. Didn't have to. Alright. Well, it's time to. I really don't want to take any more damage. Whatever.
So are you going
to attack? 21.
Yep.
Violence is all he knows.
Yeah, clearly. Violence to himself through his actions.
Alright. Allies gain a +2 bonus to damage rolls.
He's trying to understand himself, Valky.
And Barristrex, you will get a +4 to attack this guy, so please kill it.
Oh, I will. I don't need to draw the same, so. +4 to attack, yep. Alright.
Yes.
Oof.
Those who have take ongoing damage, take it once more, and then you're done.
Practice once more, gives out a puff and sits down.
52 HP.
I must say, I really dislike fighting these undead creatures. There is no visceral satisfaction on cleaving them. They just sort of splinter and fall apart. Holds up like a mummy head in disgust. Yeah. Can I get some more mendings, please?
You
Probably
most certainly can if we take another short rest. I assume we will while
I certainly will be.
Yeah, I'll
tries to
decipher this
identify
while you do that.
You can take your 5 ongoing sheep and then be gone with it.
Thank you.
What a benevolent god.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's better than having to roll it, right?
Yeah, that's true. And oops, that's not the right button. That's for Tyraxos. There's +6, and you want 2 or just 1?
Let me
Two.
see here.
+6 and +7. See where that gets you.
That should do it quite nicely.
Guess I'll take 1 for myself. So we'll be staying here for a while, taking at least 2 short rests.
20 minutes of looking over the old text and cross-referencing and such.
Yeah.
This one has another bit of text.
Right.
Yeah. It says, "The elders did not believe the chosen. We ground them to dust. The clouds hate the chosen. The lords are strong. We are small. The chosen dreams of freedom. The chosen knows best."
Okay.
Over the course of a damn near half hour, Vertilift, like laying there, says, "You know, what if we got Tilraxos' hobgoblins, had them stand on the roofs of these buildings, and when the undead came out, the hobgoblins would shoot the creatures, and they are unable to climb up the walls."
They'd be cursed to death. If they decided to keep attacking, of course.
Vertilift says, "This is not my concern." She nods her head thoughtfully.
No doubt. But dear Tilraxos here wouldn't throw his minions readily for no good reason, I'm sure.
Gaius and
Tyraxus,
Tiberius have yet to prove themselves, right?
Tyraxus looks at these like crypts. It's like, this seems like a pretty good reason.
Don't listen to me then. Go ahead.
Also, another bone out of a wound. Like, ugh. I suppose there's a way. Like, do we have to go through the doors? What happens if we just bore in through a wall here?
We haven't tried. Never tried.
Tyraxus thoughtfully scrapes at the wall with a claw.
The urns, like in this room, are they also like decorative in nature, like the room that we
Yes,
previously
there's
explored?
also silver, though these appears to be other things, less almost savory of a nature. These appears to be basically clay cups with collected what is like armbands, rings, even what seems to be some like dentistry fillings of silver and the like. Alongside the baskets of what seems to be ground and collected bones.
Hmm.
But yes, a similar amount.
Okay.
Value 1,000 gold.
Okay.
Tyraxus would like to smash a hole in the wall here.
Right. Give me an athletics check. It's arduous work.
Yes.
So Tyraxos has fucking had this shit with these stupid doors. Like there might be some sort of curse rigged to the doors, and he's had enough. He just goes into the wall. No one would have ever expected that.
I dig. Exactly. They're like, oh,
That's right.
Who goes
You
through
dig?
a wall?
Can you dig it, sucker?
I dig the digging.
Come out and play, screams Tyraxus as he charges the wall. Let's see here.
Here's Tilraxos.
Right. Where's my hirelings to tunnel through the walls? I don't need them. It's me.
17. I smash
Yeah,
into
he
the wall.
smashes and breaks. It's gonna take a good while, actually. These are pretty solidly made. In fact, like this was clearly made by people who know what they were doing, and who made these to be hardy towards large creatures that might wish to destroy them.
Why isn't ever our minions? Why don't they know what they're doing? Why do we always meet?
Because all we found we plucked from in and around the valley, and that wasn't folks of quality. You need to get the hobgoblins that the
true.
fire giants are policing down further in the mountains. Those people know what they're doing.
Our valley isn't quality. It's true.
It's true. It's filled with mud and rats right now.
Just
Proves me wrong.
we just look at this like grand necropolis filled with silver, and then we look down at our home, and it's just a fucking mud-infested rat warren.
These 5 intact buildings right here are like worth more than our entire valley.
Why don't we have like fucking?
Why don't we just move in here and say fuck?
What is the fucking? Why do we live in a pigsty? Ugh. Traxxas looks down at the valley. Yes, looks down the valley. You can see the rat just wallowing around looking for grubs, and he's like, ugh.
Fucking rats and pigs like rolling around the mud, and you're like, why?
We can't see it from here. But
Phaedron, I'm filing to move at once.
Yeah, we packing up. Ugh.
Any objections to me opening this?
Go for it.
All right.
Love it.
Flame on, or psychic braces on.
Actually, just move myself to be all the way over here.
Brace on.
The murals in this room shows what seems to be a council of leaders or rulers or priests or some such, from their much like silvery jewelry depicted on them, as they apparently yell from across a podium down upon a lone figure standing there. Then it depicts the people around the figure basically tearing them down and cudgeling them, and then breaking their bones and putting them in these baskets.
Ooh.
The Volhorandi people had a lot of fucking complicated shit in their lives, man.
Yeah. 27.
Yeah, you can open it.
Alright, let's see what fresh hell comes this time.
If one of these could just like be trapped and us like fail to investigate the trap, that'd be a nice change of pace.
It's all good. I am carefully managing my resources so I don't get completely destroyed on first time.
I also believe those of you who took a long rest, meaning Tolraxus and Varistrix, you should have a action.
Yep.
Oh, I use mine.
Well, you two have just been through 2 encounters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Tolraxus and Varistrix have
It's awkward that you're on a separate...
That's right, we're in separate realities.
But so be it.
I like how you phrase it.
As you open this one, it looks a bit fancier than the others. Where the other ones sort of seem a little cruddy. This one has... delete the vision block there. This one has more of the large sort of standing caskets than the other ones. And it seems that whoever was in here didn't share their tomb with the sort of pathetic bone crushed things, as they do not appear to be in here.
Is it your
the mural here depicting a different scene? We'll get to them, sure. Tolraxus, as she hears the shambling and the crotcheting of skeletons rising, has a chance to run in there.
I appreciate all these encounter boxes. Like, they're all separate encounters that we just can disengage.
It's a bit
like little goodie bags, little pinatas of pain.
Monster closet.
Currently, there's nothing bringing them together to do things, but
yeah,
you know,
now is the time for Tolraxus to heroically put himself in front of me.
Before the undead giant like swoops in here and fucking like commands them around.
Yeah, it certainly could do some damage here.
That's right, you're not even cursed. There's no shitty bone things in there. There's a bunch of minions in there.
Can't. There's a fat dragon in the way.
Wow. Don't speak about yourself like that.
He's not in his way.
Can you push me?
just push him.
Push me.
Just
push
smack me in the side, like, oh wait, get away.
Out of my way, peasant.
As soon as he opens the door, so
it's like, I see this. I'm seeing what's going on here.
I like the idea of him just basically just being like on edge, like ready to go in. Just smacks me out of the way.
One side,
serrated claws, like ready to get to work.
Oh,
Behold the glory.
there's a lot
the
of shambling mummies here, actually.
Yeah.
One for each of us.
Prepare to be cursed.
Prepare for trouble.
At least the curses don't stack. It's only one at a time.
Whenever you attack, you take 40 damage.
I
Oh, man.
like this.
Tilrax is like, out of my way, pet. Oh.
Tilraxus realizes what harm Berstrix has come to each and every time he's up in this thing.
He'll lightning like this. I can't really reach the others, unfortunately.
Lightning. There. Yep. Only fine, Jen. Nope, no regret.
Well.
Fine.
I'm fine.
Think of it this way: level 10 after this session.
Baba.
Ooh,
Baba.
excited.
You kill the 2 minions,
Nice one.
Awesome.
shattering the skeletons before they barely get to stand.
That's like 8 less damage on you now next turn.
That's great.
Total defense is an option.
You also can convert your standard to a move.
Yeah, I am heavily
my
ready to just walk away from this.
No, I'm gonna say because you moved me, you're not allowed to move out.
Block the way.
Berstrix is pushing back on you.
Wait.
Go to
In that case, if that's happening, strength moves the world. A compulsion. Veristrix isn't stronger than you. You got in there, you can move right back out.
Are we doing a contested athletics check here, or I'm up for it?
Alright, sure, let's do it. As Tyrannosaurus tried to backpedal because strength moves the world and currently it's moving in this direction, bitch.
Yeah, you're just like, get the fuck out of my way. And Berstrix
let's
is like,
see if-
alright, I'll leave you in there
You
then.
have the option to.
Yeah, I'll do my roll first.
Alright.
24.
That's not bad.
That's a natural 20 actually.
Okay.
So
You will
Oh,
not.
my.
You will stay in that room. Let's see.
You will
I will,
suffer.
yeah.
No,
otherwise,
Varus with his mental mind is like, no, he pushing behind.
yeah.
well, in
You
that
will stay
case,
in that room.
There is no reality in which you get out of this situation.
You go forward in there.
Shadow.
You push, you're just like, okay.
All right, that's it then.
It must be the mummy influence here,
You
like
have an
preventing
action point if you want to take it.
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm fine for now.
All right.
How are you? Okay.
Oh.
Dominance is tough.
Yeah, this one will point towards Araxos, who's entering the tomb, and curse him. How dare he? Set upon their sacred.
I'm barely inside,
around.
really.
You are and try to.
It's just
You know
a
what?
tip.
Once you go inside, though, you get to be here forever with them to wait for
I
celebration.
That
mean,
sounds great.
if the other tombs are considered, I mean, like, you're just standing like in the doorway, like
Yeah.
you haven't changed colors yet.
Reach out and
No.
No.
this one will move over here and attack.
Oh.
With your partial concealment, that'll miss.
Yeah,
Yeah,
misses
that's
me.
true.
The shadows leap up.
Yeah, and then it will curse Varstrix.
Okay. Rude, but fine.
This one just step over here. Attack.
Oh
That's
boy.
it.
Again, you cannot heal at the end of its next turn. Verdalith, you can see Varustix holding Trovaxus in as Trovaxus is trying to back
Has a being pummeled in the face by mummies. Like, ow, 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 ow! That's Versi just holding him up against him.
Vertilith can't believe this reality exists. I think she's learned enough from what has happened in rooms prior, particularly when folks got in. She doesn't have any intention of going into that room, especially since there's a huge water jam. Those mummies are going to have to go outside. So minor action is going to be for her to activate her psionic vigor to gain 8 temporary hit points. Go ahead and push the button, because the button matters to me, damn it.
Yeah.
That's important. I also have spent healing surge to do so retroactively. 70 be at 7 and 14. Move action is going to take me into the air 15 feet as she flies here to like look down, and then because she can't pull or tug or do any sort of defendery shit at all, she's basically going to be like here, like 15 feet, like in the air. How high up are the buildings, Malachi?
They're about 15 feet, I'd say.
Okay.
Flat roof, slightly slanted. You can easily stand on them if you want.
All right. She actually will end up moving towards like standing on them, like in the future, if need be. But like right now, she's basically just like ducking like between this, or I say between it, but she's flying like at the top of like level. Like she needs those mummies to get out here before she can do anything. That'll be the end of my turn, Manica.
Sure. I mean, these will. Tyraxus is there. Just raise their bows. And shoot her in the face. I mean, like hits a scale somewhere.
Have I mentioned how I can't do anything without being adjacent to an enemy?
Yeah.
You can go there and push as well.
Yeah, push.
Damn it, let them get out of there. Don't fucking like dogpile onto it so that they keep bottlenecking.
I'm trying!
I'm scolding she. Like,
There's a goddamn
You can
purple
delay
dragon.
Yeah, sure. I'll delay until something happens.
You might just get shot in the face. Or sticks.
Alright. Having suddenly gained proficiency in using Tyraxus as a shield, Verstrix will
Great face, see?
breathe in the room. To great effect.
And super effective.
Let's see. 1, 2.
I just love the image of like Bearistrix like holding up Tilrak.
Yeah.
It is this tiny, slender, you know. Purple dragon's just like lowering
His
his
damn
head.
bracers of mental might there. Just
Fine.
Yeah, Veristrix isn't messing about. He's actually quite pissed right now, and you can feel it because it is physically and psychically pushing you and keeping you there. So, for now, till he moves away, which he will.
To crumble.
All right. He has standard action which he will use to dishearten these shambling mummies. Oh, actually, he should take his damage. He'll do that. It's just gonna get worse the more I do damage, but don't really have much of a choice here. Yeah, he will dishearten here. Power that up. Because it's a great AoE attack.
No, yes.
Okie doke.
It's a lot of damage.
It is, it's a fully powered one. Does extra damage.
Caution, these penalties to hit.
And
Which
take
is
another
also
5
pretty
damage.
significant.
Which puts him not bloodied. And, with his purpose done and the lesson learned, he will walk away.
No.
Let Tilraxus free. And he is done.
Yes. Well, there's another shot here.
clink.
And attack.
Which will miss because of the partial concealment Tilraxos has.
Yep.
And then Tyraxus gets.
That was very useful, like partial concealment you had there.
Time to get out of here. Let's see. If I charge Veristrix, I get out of with no attacks of opportunity.
That's factually correct.
Yes. Charge!
Are you mainly basic attacking me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. You realize you started this, by the way.
What? No, I'm just getting out of a sticky situation that I have no idea how I ended up in. I tried to go backwards, but somehow I got stuck, and, I'm just getting out now, so.
Alright.
All right.
Is this what's happening?
Melee basic attack.
Oh, yeah!
All right. I mean, that certainly hits, I would imagine.
Yes.
Yeah, you almost got me. Thanks.
All right.
Was that worth it? Just
ends your
asking.
turn.
Well,
Charge.
the lesson
gonna do
learned,
something?
Tyraxus turns around. And,
Charges back.
I certainly could. That would be kind of funny.
Action point charge back.
I'll do it again next turn.
Too funny.
Yeah, you have to spend an action point to do anything here because charge ends your turn.
Yep, no, I'm fine here.
Okay.
I'm a shield after all.
Oh, you also take 5 damage from attacking.
All right, sure.
Yep.
I think at this point, Feligno is just gonna look over to Verdelef and
Verdelef is in the air and like looking at Feligno like, what the fuck?
Moves over here and attacks Telraxos.
more like a look that says it wasn't me.
For 19 damage, and he cannot regain hit points until the end of his next turn.
I think we're gonna have to bail.
Also, ooh,
Mhm.
16 damage, and now he can't take healing until its turn. Go out here, and it sees Valagneth over there, and will curse him.
Joke's on you. I won't attack you anyway.
And then it will continue moving over here.
By it moving there and then away from Telraxus, that would provoke an attack of opportunity from Telraxus, then yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I suppose it would. Sure.
If Telraxus wanted to take it, who would take the 5 damage from attacking?
Yeah, I might as well give it a swipe. Yes.
That'll miss. Verdelef.
I need to know whether we're going to stay in this combat or not.
No, I think we leave.
Okay.
Too much damage.
I think these mummies and these 2 skeletons get to tell bedtime stories or something. Yeah, Verdelef like looks at this, looks at what happened with Tyranxus and Veristrix. She's seen enough. Like, I'm basically going to take myself out of this combat, Manikai.
All right. We'll just move on then.
Yep.
And we'll step over here and shoot at Telraxos.
Yes.
Valagneth.
Yeah, no. It's a rare moment where Feligno fully agrees with Verdelef. This has descended into something that will not work out well for us. And they can't fly, and we can.
They certainly cannot fly.
So shift, and then
Nope.
fly this
Alright,
way as
yeah,
slowly as he does.
He leaves. All right, Oristrix.
Yeah, he's out. Why would he stay to help that? So, bye.
All right.
He's gonna double run fly, which means that's 12. So
There's another arrow against
is that?
Telraxos. Oh my.
Hit.
Hit for 4. And this mummy has no other choice but to go and attack Telraxos.
And then when he's knocked unconscious because this mummy hits him, we're going to have to change our plans. Because they'll fucking drag him in there and want to make him a fucking mummy.
Oh boy. It was
A miss. Telraxos. Charge
Tyraxus,
Valagneth.
yeah, we'll charge Valagneth.
No, you can't
we'll
reach.
pop,
You can't even reach him in the air.
We'll pop Dragonic Virtue, and then he will back
Shift and move.
and then fly away.
All right, well, they have actually no way to follow you. And these ones are not the strong mummies whose effect lasts forever. As the encounter ends, they will effectively just go back inside.
Oh, I will know that for next time.
We've been here
Ah,
twice now and had to bail both times.
we have.
Bad place.
Verdelef's going to look back at Veristrix, who's like
done.
Following him and basically like look back with a like bewildered expression at Veristrix, like what? She's entirely like confused.
Restrix is quiet, but then after like a minute or two, he starts laughing. We thought that was actually quite funny, even though he is bleeding from various orifices.
He's certainly bleeding from various orifices.
Maybe it's delirium from blood loss. You know, who knows? But you know, he's finding this quite funny actually.
Draxus is also laughing as he's flying away.
He
He found that hilarious.
All right. Yeah.
Are we sure this is a medium goal?
If this is a medium goal,
I feel like we were bamboozled here.
Yeah, I mean, I would be okay with saying that you have surveyed it. You have a pretty good idea of what's here.
Sure.
We explored it.
More silver, and presumably more clues to whatever else there might be. These people sort of have hidden within their weird story.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But that's what that's what's here. There's like this thing that you have kind of looked into, and then there's one more place that you haven't opened yet. But you have all of them. You can probably use that information to find whatever there might be to find. And of course, more silver is good. I'd be okay with saying.
All right, cool. Yeah,
that.
so we fly away. Verlith is gonna like direct in the direction back of the valley, but her eyes are like constantly cycling between like Telraxos and Veristrix, because that's gonna be a moment where she doesn't understand what's happened, and she's okay with letting everyone else know she has no idea what just happened there.
Tyraxus noticed he was pushed into mummies that pummeled him, and Restrix was smug about it, so he charged him and gave him something to think about, and that he's settled.
It's fine. Veristrix doesn't need to say anything. He knows that there wasn't a victory there for anyone.
Everyone lost.
Yeah, and maybe Telraxus should think about that, but I don't think he will.
No, probably not.
Great.
Yes.
So burn Elm next time, Sheep?
Yeah. We need some distraction out of this mummy madness.
I know, with your solid 1 healing surge, Veristrix has 3 hit points and 4 healing surge.
Yeah, and I just had a long rest. So.
I know Telraxus is going to have to use a few.
Yeah, it's weird what happens when you get mauled by something. Funny how that happens.
Yeah, it is really weird, huh?
That was quite funny though.
It told a story. Sure.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, I didn't really like getting charged, but it's part of the character thing, so makes sense.
Yeah, do your short rests.
Yeah, I think I'll have to long rest again. Just saying, guys. So maybe you can go off and do something else, like while I'm chilling out.
Do the short one for now. We can decide next time if you wanna.
All right, let's do a couple short ones, shall we? Because both of you
Sure.
many different words.
Yep. Hit me.
All right. For Tyraxos, 1, that's a +6, +5. Do you need more? Yes, probably
yep.
1 more. And a +7.
5, 6, 7.
That'll take him down to 4 healing surges.
And Veristrix.
Give me 2 and we'll see.
+6 and +6.
That's fine. Give me another one. Why not?
Hit me.
Hit me.
+5.
That'll do.
It'll take you down to what, 1 healing surge, Valky?
It's not like I had any anyway.
So, did that count as an encounter?
The failed one, probably. Well, we killed something. Killed a few minions.
I think it.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a good bit killed there, I think. So.
All right. Yep. Sheep and I, we have 2 action.
What?
2 action.
Yeah.
The luxury.
Just imagine.
I know.
Yeah. And the dragon's return. I think that's probably the time is any to.
Yeah, a good time to end this session.
To call it. Things have happened. Things were accomplished.
We got a lot done, to be fair.
Yeah.
We inspected the ruins of the Eel Fort, as well as explored the City of the Dead. We know it's here now. Some sort of ancient puzzle that has been left buried for thousands of years.
And for good reason, because...
For good reason, no shit. I should have become a mummy.
Yeah.
I'm paragoning into a mummy.
You still have time. You're not that old.
Embalm me, damn it.
Knock me out and turn me into a mummy.
That's right. If there's one thing I ask of my fellow dragons, it's to make me
Yeah. Yeah, that said, I mean, you have surveyed the Giant Run Mountains. I'd say that you have accomplished that, certainly, since you did a thing that was called that. You have explored the City of the Dead, and beyond that, you have inspected the ruins of the Eel Fort.
3 goals
Quite a few
completed.
goals
Ooh.
there. Going on, you have also defeated a couple of encounters, which is nice. You know, a fair bit.
Mhm.
Which means that each of you have earned 1,607 XP this session, putting you to a total of 21,797, which is well into level 10.
Nice.
All right.
Level 10, as a reminder to everyone watching, you get a utility power as well as a feat.
Mm-hmm. It is also the last level of Adventurer tier.
Yeah. Gosh,
Cool.
what would I even take?
More red
Also, so Grim, a thought that came. If Verdlif is upset that Velignith explored the mountains without her, she could take revenge by burning down Elm without him.
Yes.
Upset would be a strong word for her, so much as like, oh, okay, fine, you did it. I guess I will tentatively trust you. He's like, there's giants there, and he's like,
You should not go there. You should not go.
As it turns out, it doesn't take Verdalif
Hmm.
like much to convince her to like not apply herself in that way. Let me go check to verify. No, that means
Ooh, these utility powers are useful.
we're gonna have 3 open goal slots.
Yeah, and think about what you want to accomplish in them as we'll be moving towards Paragon tier, really.
Yeah.
Which means that during like basically after next level, what we'll probably do is we'll have like a month or so dragon time where the dragons effectively get to do what they need to do to attain their Paragon
yeah, it makes sense.
level. Right? There'll be some time where the dragons can travel or speak to people or meditate or make plate or whatever they need to do that. So you know, think a little bit about what you want to accomplish before that point, and what things can wait perhaps until after you've already.
What?
Yeah, there is something.
Or you can delay the level, of course, until this stuff.
Go on, Jonas.
I was just gonna ask what Paragon paths people are picking.
Surprise.
I'll tell you. Tell the world. I am going to be fairly confident. It's something called the Zephyr Blade. It's a battle mind specific thing. Psionic thing. Yes.
Zephyr, huh? Speed.
Yep. Yeah, part of the thing is that it ends up making her sort of like phase and fade in and out of reality, which is sort of what I've been depicting storytelling wise with her sort of like moving through objects and she doesn't understand.
Sounds cool.
For Veristrix, he's taking Dreamwalker, where basically he can manifest his lucid dream into reality, which is I think is quite thematic here. So yeah, he gets in like an extension of himself in like a dream form that he can do things from without having to actually be there. So
As opposed to the manipulator of time.
yeah, I mean,
Time Lord.
I was gonna go for it, but then I saw this and like the tagline is literally my compulsion. I was like, I gotta do it. Yeah.
When I dream, I give a whole new meaning to the concept of sleepwalking.
Yeah, the features themselves, like the way it's designed, it's makes sense.
Velignith, for one, will appropriately, I think, become a Dragonaut, which gives him extra hit points, lots of damage resistance, and some reasonably interesting attacks, although it's mostly about resisting damage and shrugging off save and effects with ease.
That's useful.
All right, and I will be picking up the Grim Blackguard, deeping ever further into darkness and shadow. Like as I've ranked up with the court, Tyraxus will gain new and terrible powers as he discovers more of his Fey power source here.
Dedicates him further into the.
Yeah, I will begin to be able to like create altars and stuff like that in combat, and basically putting down like beacons and things like that to give us buffs. And I will also pick up some stuff from the Warlord tree to do some bad things to enemies, like pull them around and stuff like that to get them into better positions. Let's see.
I don't know about this whole accepting bonuses and benefits from this whole like winter goddess thing because this is kind of shady here.
What?
Well, it's like Tyraxus pays the price in horrible agony, and then you get to have buffs.
No, the enemies pay the price in horrible agony.
I mean, so long as I'm not the one feeling horrible agony, I'm on board.
I mean, someone's gotta. That's the important.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
Someone's gonna horribly suffer, but
As long as you help me make this guy over here
It's
horribly
not
suffer,
really
we're
that
fine.
big on who, just someone. Yeah. He's very busy, you see. There's a lot of suffering going on, and she has to look at all of it. So she wants to look at all of it. Really bad. So
It's true. All right.
All right. We were all dreadful, dreading it up
Yes.
with mummies.
Horrible mummy.
Mummies of the Dragon Coast.
Mummies of the Dragon Coast.
Those 4 mummies are going to be like the next adventuring party.
Oh no! My lair is busted.
someone wakes up from a sleep, shambling there. They follow you all the way back.
My God.
You know, the undead tend to be persistent in their pursuits, but these ones seems happy to close up and wait for whatever they're waiting for.
Damn. All right, we'll have to have a talk next time as we juice up with our level 10 things about what crazy bullshit we want to embark on next. We hurtle towards Paragon tier and try to defend our lairs against mummies and the plague hell outside our door. Spell scarred.
Also, because of the long rest, people also get to see what the hero has been up to. And I can tell you already that there's a new goal for them because now there's no more bounty hunting to be done. There's no more bounties. It's all the bounties. Every single bounty was done. So no more, probably no more bandits right now, and probably no more bounties. So now, however, the heroes might have a chance to go act against the horrible cult that's forming close to.
Yeah, that seems pretty dangerous, guys. You should
deal with some of that because some cultists are coming to yelling outside the city, and people are a little scared of that. That's like pretty.
I could.
All their wood tree defenders, it's all fire based.
Yeah, I wouldn't want my trees to be set on fire. That'd be terrible. All right. Next Friday, everyone.
It's true. And
Friday.
Pay for the whole seat, don't need the edge.
That's right.
Yes, and tomorrow we will be launching the first episode of a new series that I'm DMing. We are going to run the Dungeon of the Mad Mage.
At twitch.tv/Haldemir, right?
Yes, Haldemir is going to be streaming that. Since I am DMing, I will not streaming for obvious reasons because I have my secrets over here.
Right.
But yeah, there'll be links and stuff posted, and the episode will be uploaded to the YouTube channel as normal. And yeah, we'll see you there. There's a lot of Undermountain to explore, and very excited. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Tonight I'm going to be recording a little intro video to talk about my character and my understanding of like Undermountain and stuff.
Awesome.
I wanted to describe a bit about my Terran's lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
What it means to worship, who he does.
If more people does that, feel free to give me links and I'll put them in the playlist on the channel so people can watch them before the first session. All right. Well, with that said, I'm heading off to bed. I'll catch you guys later.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye,
See you
night.
tomorrow.
Thank you for playing. Hope you had
That's
fun.
right.